Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Hello, and welcome to our watch-along of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. We are the host of Jedi Alliance. I am Joseph Scrimshaw, and we are also joined by Alexis Torres.
Hey, everybody. You can find me all over social media as atorres890, and I'm so happy to be here.
And of course...
Internet Soapbox Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark.
Excellent. So we've done watch-alongs for The Phantom Menace and for Attack of the Clones. We're really excited to do Revenge of the Sith. Like we've said on all of these, I think our general perspective of the prequels is that we really like the stories. Sometimes there's some problems with the execution, so as we go through watching the movies, we'll talk a little bit about what we like, what we don't like, and why, and deep philosophical thoughts and jokes. But before we get started, I want to talk just a little bit, so you guys all know where we're coming from, about sort of our opinion going into the movie and when we saw it. I saw it midnight showing. I was super excited for it. My opinion at the time was that it was the best of the prequels, and that it continues to be my opinion, that I think it's the richest and most textured of all of the prequels, and close to up there with the classic trilogy. Alexis, what is your experience of Revenge of the Sith?
Well, I've said it before that my family usually watches this around the holidays, but sometimes usually during the prequels everyone kind of gets up and leaves for a little bit, so
Rude.
I haven't but most of the time I haven't really fully sat down and watched the whole movie since I saw it in theaters, which I went to the midnight showing as well.
Cool.
Back in, I don't even know what year that was.
2005.
Oh yeah, I was in high school. There it is. But this is one of my favorites out of the prequels also.
Awesome.
So I'm very excited to watch it with the two of you.
And Mark, you have an awesome story.
You just had to bring it up, didn't you?
it's so cool.
So speaking of high school and being a dumb high school student,
Oh, here we go.
I bought the wrong tickets.
What?
I got the midnight showing on Friday night
Uh-oh.
instead of Thursday night.
Oh my god.
But that made for a cooler experience because there were probably about 6 people in the theater, including my
Nice.
lady Panion and myself. But it kind of let me stop and actually watch the movie as opposed to get caught up in everybody cheering or everybody booing
Yeah.
and all that. So I got a chance to watch it objectively, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more, but it did take me a couple of days to go, wait a minute, for a couple things.
Okay.
But
Oh,
we'll
dear.
get to them when we watch the movie.
We'll talk through your
Yeah.
your wait a minute
Wait a
moments.
minute.
Oh my goodness.
And there was no one else to turn to in the theater because
Yeah.
they were spread apart.
Good.
Awesome.
There
Okay,
you
so
go.
what we're going to do is we
You
are
got it
going to
front.
count down to 1, and then we are going to hit go. So are you guys ready?
Ready to do
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Star Wars.
I loved your intro. Star Wars.
So one of the things I enjoy about the prequels and enjoy the most about Revenge of the Sith is has that sort of Shakespearean tragedy feel where you know a bad thing is going to happen. And I think particularly in Revenge of the Sith, it is fun to watch for, like, what are those various key moments where something could have happened differently
Yeah.
to make it be a celebration instead of a tragedy.
It didn't end with a wedding, even though like Shakespearean comedies are kind of defined by they end in a wedding,
Yeah.
Yes.
as like the general happy ending, and
That's-
and Attack of the Clones could be considered a Shakespearean comedy, no matter what happens. Like as long as it ends with a wedding, even the most tragic Shakespearean shows,
Yeah.
if they end with a wedding, they're considered
It's
a
a
comedy.
comedy.
Well, it's actually
So-
the root word of comedy is komos, which
Yeah.
means celebration.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So I love this scroll that starts with just "war!" exclamation point.
What is it good for?
Oh,
Absolutely nothing.
Well, right away you know it's going to be very exciting, and it also it harkens back most directly to like old newsreels of World War II.
Yeah.
and opening
That was the
scrolls,
first thing I thought
which
of.
this is all based on, but that's the most clear cut.
Chancellor.
And then all that tone goes into the introduction of the Clone Wars animated series as well, where they have like very newsreel like
Yeah.
openings. They will often just yell a word at the top of the Clone Wars
Guys,
animation.
Conflict.
Mike Leamy in the chat says, "Hey Mark and Joseph, thanks for these watch-alongs, but you are coming dangerously close to making me actually like the prequels just a little." Not sure how I feel about that.
Danger.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Like this is Star Wars canon, and it should be if not loved,
At least-
appreciated.
yeah.
A major theme,
can
as we've talked about in all of the Star Wars, is a certain point of view, and that really comes out in the forefront in Revenge of the Sith. So everyone is going to have their certain point of view, and we will try to sway you to our side, whether it's the light or the dark. I think starting with things we like, this for as much as anybody might ever complain about CGI, I think for a CGI scene, this
I can't complain about
communicates
this scene.
so much and has such great spirit to it. So we have the introduction of Anakin and Obi-Wan flying in great unison.
Great unison.
And also, I like the
scope,
the storytelling of it. Looks like things are kind of peaceful. It's a Star Destroyer type ship, a Jedi cruiser, like we've seen in many Star Wars movies. Starting with that, it looks fairly peaceful, but then literally beneath the surface of the peaceful scene, war and chaos and violence and evil.
And I do like I've heard a lot of people complain like just because it's a CGI effect, it doesn't make this one sweeping shot like impressive at all. Like a whole bunch of people were just in front of their computers. Not a lot of people actually shot anything.
Right, a whole
Yeah,
bunch of artists.
Yeah, but like the fact that someone spent hours putting that together should be appreciated
Yeah,
at least a
I
little
agree.
bit.
And there's a little bit more walking the line of, is Obi-Wan a jerk? This is going to be easy.
He's certainly grumpy, which I really like.
I mean, I don't blame him.
That they solidified his character of definitely being grumpy, definitely not enjoying war, and that also comes out a lot in this movie, where he's doing his duty a lot and not enjoying it.
Just another day of work.
So I think this is also one of the things that makes Revenge of the
This is
Sith
where
a
the fun
stronger movie is that Lucas really focused on the main story because he was out of time to play with anything else.
Yeah.
He had wanted to do a bunch of scenes from the Clone Wars, like 7 battles on 7 different planets, and instead we get this concentration to kind of show us how intense the Clone Wars have been for our heroes.
I think that kind of worked in his favor, because we do get to see a little bit, like just there, we get to see how much Anakin has come to really respect and not necessarily utilize the clones as tools, but they're all people and they're all individuals, which we learn more in the Clone Wars series and the Clone Wars series.
Yeah.
Right.
We got that as well.
And I think that is also just coming up here where he is not willing to let them go. The clones is a great example of showing us a little bit more of the caring. He's a good person.
Yeah.
Right.
He cares about people, and there's a good side to attachment.
I do like the how close to the I guess you would say modern ship designs we are in this movie now.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a weird, cool move that in Attack of the Clones, the Jedi starfighters look a little like they're a Star Destroyer shape, and then they kind of switch up to being into more of a TIE fighter design here. With
Flying is for droids.
What a monster.
yay, cranky Obi-Wan.
I love cranky Obi-Wan. He's my favorite.
How do you guys feel about these buzz droids, these missiles that explode into little droids that jump onto your ship?
Thing of my nightmares. I don't know.
I'm kind of a little sad that they didn't appear earlier.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh look, it's the threat once.
RP.
But they do kind of look like they were pieced together.
Yeah.
So it looks like maybe they had some scrap left around and were like, those starfighters are really a problem. We need to start taking care of them.
Right.
And so the buzz droids came into being. Also,
I thought this was.
big part of new Star Tours. So they're very terrifying to me.
Yeah. No, thank you.
What were you going to say, Alexis?
No. I was agreeing. That's all. And I was also really upset that he decided I'm gonna just shoot them off. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So you can kill Obi-Wan at the same time. Sure, yeah, whatever.
But he's
That'll be fine.
Anakin is just that good.
He's so good.
But yeah, we've talked on the other watch-alongs about I like how much the prequels expand the sort of the palette of Star Wars, and I like it when they do weird, inventive things. And I feel like buzz droids are weird and strange and inventive.
Right.
Yeah, so I like that we're seeing the positive sides of his attachment.
Yeah.
That he's a good guy and doesn't want his that he cares about Obi-Wan.
Leave R2 alone.
But then that also
Yeah.
that's cool that we're getting like a knife fight between two droids. But where was R4 during for that?
Four had to deal with a few of them messing with him.
Fair.
This is just one.
Yeah.
And also,
yeah,
R2's the best.
R2 is just way other droids must hate R2.
Oh, yeah, no,
he's
he's-
so
yeah,
much better.
he has set a bar.
His sass levels are off the charts.
I'm sure there's some astromech droid bar where they hang out and just complain about
Yes.
R2.
You hear about this guy? What a jerk.
What are they from Boston? What a jerk.
Hey.
Hey.
Better than
R2.
everyone at everything.
Hey, there it is.
There it
First
is.
one.
And I also think one of the best deliveries because it was not.
wish we had a counter.
I really believed
Ding.
it that he had a super bad feeling about
Yeah,
this.
he's like, oh boy.
I was actually just talking to someone about Obi-Wan's fighting skills and
Yeah.
how he's just a deadly mofo.
Yeah. Yeah, and we see a lot of that in Revenge of the Sith here.
Yeah, which
And sort of some philosophical points to why he is good and which fights he functions well in.
yeah.
I do like how much they've changed from 2 to 3. Because
Yeah.
you can tell how much the war has kind of hardened
Yeah.
them as generals.
And that's why I like this movie, now that I'm watching it with you guys and all the memories are coming back of just, I love how you can see how war has changed them.
A
Yeah.
I love that smile. So great.
This communicator is your life.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about General Grievous? Alexis, what are your thoughts on our...
Favorite fight between him and Obi-Wan. Favorite fight of all time.
Oh, you like the fight that's coming up? Nice.
Because
nice.
it really speaks to, Obi-Wan probably saw him, he pulled out his multiple lightsabers, and he was just like, "Pfft, I got this. This is my type of fighting style. You're dead."
It's skill versus number.
Yeah.
It's just sheer force. Not actual force.
Yeah.
But brute
A little
bit.
force, and how ineffective that is against somebody who's trained.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you see Obi-Wan's actual skill.
Yeah, and that's why it's one of my it's one of my favorite scenes.
I never really noticed the really quiet, sad Roger.
Yeah.
We're going to die. And again, moving in the same unison, which is really nice to suggest there. Yeah, General Grievous is a character. He doesn't bother me as much as other people. I feel like another villain was needed in the sort of a different kind of version of the of a cyborg. Like we think of Darth Vader sometimes as a cyborg, and he's like a different kind.
I liked Grievous's introduction in the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars,
Right.
And that changed now that that's a legend. But also, again, something that Clone Wars helped do was level him out. I do agree, though, that he is also a remnant of the Clone Wars. And we get the idea that he's been a thorn in their side for a really long time.
Yeah, and that he has legitimately killed Jedi. And again, whether it's executed well in this movie, the idea that he is a huge key to ending the war, that he has successfully killed lots of Jedi.
He'll at least help save some numbers.
Yeah. And I also we've talked a lot about how these movies are entirely based on adventure serials, so as much as possible they're just going to be crammed with, here's a little adventure problem, here's a little adventure
Well,
problem.
and that's what I like about it too, is that that gives the droids a little bit more of a personality, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that?
And I like that for this whole long adventure in the first act, it's not only giving us a little picture of the Clone Wars, but there's so much character development
Yeah.
that we learn while just action is happening.
Uh-oh. Jeez.
You start to see more personality in the battle droids as well as you do the clones.
Yeah, and that's why
Yeah.
I like that. Ugh.
And R2 uses this move a lot in the Clone Wars animated series. Pretty gross that R2 just carries that much extra grease for fighting purposes.
It's just a little container. That's
Too
like,
much chew.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
this is all I'm saying. He's a deadly deadly
Forced to
droid.
be reckoned with.
Yes. And I'm like,
Yeah, he's cute and cuddly. He just killed
No,
two
he
of
just-
his own kind.
Yeah.
Huge cheers in the
He just-
theater
he
when I
burned them
first saw that at
to
midnight.
death.
Yeah, the one guy in the second row was pretty happy about it.
Was he cheering
Yeah.
at
Yeah, it's pretty good.
the Friday night?
That was great.
And then the pretty obvious
This is not a
rhythms
trap.
with Return of the Jedi here, that he's in a similar type
Do it.
chair.
Totally not a trap.
It's a trap.
And they just walk up like, whatever, yo, what's up, Emp?
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, man.
And I was really happy when that line came up in the theater because I was expecting Obi-Wan to still be cranky about something that happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Is one of my very favorite
Yes.
lines.
Oh, man.
And
So
Obi-Wan has
It's
had
so-
some difficult looks in the prequels, but he looks so cool in Revenge of the Sith.
Yes,
He-
I completely agree.
closest to
everything.
Sir Alec Guinness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, like that, I think that's why most people enjoy this the most is because the timelines are so close to each other now
Yeah.
that everything finally looks familiar,
Yeah.
and it's something you can recognize as opposed to classic mullet.
Yeah. And you also know that you're in for something very different in terms of a Star Wars film when there is a big old lightsaber battle right away.
At the
Yes.
beginning,
You
yeah.
know how much action there's going to be. Not sure about Palpatine as a sort of sports viewer, but
I love it.
But I like
I think it's great. I'd bring him to every sports game.
Yeah.
Sounds like the guy in the eighth row.
Yes.
Just watching, just going, get
Yeah.
force kick.
And I like to think about how much, Palpatine knows his plan, his long, long plan is coming to an end to get
Yeah.
rid of Dooku and convert Anakin. Mm-hmm. So you're wondering about how much actual tension Palpatine has in this fight of like, come on, Anakin, you've got to be strong enough now. Mm-hmm. I can manipulate you into taking him out.
Also, I didn't mention it in the last one, but I really like seeing like an older Sith.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Oh, there it is.
The hand cutoff is
It's
amazing.
just gnarly to me every time. Yeah, you're a little too like. I remember my mom was sitting there going,
Wait. Gotta wait for it.
And here it comes. Yeah, and that's perfect Palpatine, a little over the top, but also absolute conversion into his Palpatine persona.
And that was also I liked the look on Dooku's face because there was a bit of I'm about to die, but also crap, I know who he is.
"Yeah,
I feel like
he knew.
I
when it was
feel
just
like
a
he
trap.
knows. I don't think that Dooku knows his time is coming any more than any other Sith Lord, but I feel like
Yeah.
he knows that that Palpatine and
He's breaking the
Sidious
cycle.
are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I know it's shifty in canon right now, but I love that little sound cue of the sand people barking in the background, and that's a quick, easy way to let you know how much Anakin has already confided in Palpatine and has a stronger relationship with him maybe than Obi-Wan, that he can tell Palpatine that I slaughtered them all like animals, but not Obi-Wan.
yeah."
And do you think that scene that just happened would have set off any red flags in Anakin? So here's,
Yeah.
especially after what we've seen in the Clone Wars and how much Palpatine and Obi-Wan have like conversed and like helped each other out.
Yeah.
Oh hey, we can't spare 30 seconds to sit. Wilhelm.
Hum scream.
Yeah. Yep,
we can't
every time.
we can't spend an extra 30 seconds to pick up this dude. Do you think Anakin was like, wait,
What?
dude? This guy.
I feel like both Palpatine and the Jedi are constantly yelling at Anakin
Yes.
about who to trust and who to leave to die. I mean,
Yeah.
the Jedi are constantly telling him. So I think that it would, but in the context of Jedi are always like, let that person die.
Yeah.
Let that person die.
Yeah.
The bigger,
All right.
I think he's so used to saying like, no, everybody thinks I should let people die, and I'm gonna try to save people.
Fair enough.
Do it.
We wanted to hear the line, chat room. They were wondering why we didn't do our own impression, but we wanted to hear the OG.
Yeah, we'll do it plenty.
We're gonna do it a lot.
No worries.
But you got to lead with the original.
And I do like that that Anakin insisting on saving Obi-Wan does show that they do have a strong relationship despite the manipulation by Palpatine.
Oh man.
There's a shot coming up that I think is a sort of inelegant shot of both Anakin and Obi-Wan's butt.
Let's keep an eye out for that.
Yes, please.
Do it.
What? Sheev's just like, what? Crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I hate my plan.
Yeah.
Batman grappling hook. Sorry.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a shot out of Batman Forever.
Yeah, like for real.
But the Jedi have their little tool belt.
No, they do.
It's
I
nice to
just
see
thought
them
it was-
finally use something in their tool belt.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Going back to Anakin killing Dooku, I also like the sort of ambiguity of that. Of like Jedi are usually pretty down with killing Sith. Like
Yeah.
the Force is for knowledge and defense, and defense means murder Sith Lords. So it was kind of rare for Anakin to have got a Sith Lord to be like, he's got no hands. I think I could probably arrest him.
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh.
because then the bracers would fall right off.
Yeah.
Someone said they didn't like that line.
That we're smarter than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh, wait a minute. We're smarter than this.
I feel
R2.
like so this section used to be longer, and Lucas cut it down. And I feel like that line was trying to indicate that Obi-Wan sensed that something was a little bit weird, that this whole thing was just an absolute charade set up by Palpatine, Grievous, Dooku, to keep the seduction of Anakin moving forward.
Yeah.
And to move the Clone Wars into its final stages. And I think that was a not great kind of ham-fisted line from Lucas to try to suggest Obi-Wan knows something's a little weird. But I agree, it doesn't really work.
You're welcome.
I also did like the allusion, or what Grievous just said, the negotiator for Obi-Wan, and how that came into fruition in the Clone Wars series as well. And
Yes.
it just gives you a clearer view of how they handled each other in the wars.
Yes. Yes, that Obi-Wan always tries to talk it out, even if it's just to get information. He'll walk up and chat first before kicking your ass. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Every
the
time I'm like, guys, look at him.
Boy, yeah, and that's R2 really not holding back, just
No.
letting
Yeah,
it all
just like-
go.
Do you think they told Palpatine about that?
About
Okay, R2's gonna go crazy and you might get shocked, but just
R2
don't worry
is going
about
to
it.
explode from every
Yeah.
pore. Yeah.
So I'm surprised we didn't hear it. Get out of him.
Ah. Yeah, I would have liked running commentary from Palpatine.
That would've been
throughout this.
great.
But I really like these more advanced battle droids. You
Yes,
know, I
yes.
think Lucas realized that he had made the battle droids a little bit too dopey and needed something that was a little bit more challenging.
The Electro Pikes are a cool addition,
Yeah, they're really, really cool. And I think this
but
is
a
all...
pain in the butt in Battlefront. I'll tell you what.
I'm
Yep.
sure they are.
Yep.
Yeah, and even the battle droids know they're utterly useless, just scampering away from Obi-Wan.
So when do you think we'll get the appearance of Admiral Bone to Pick
Oh.
after Grievous goes down? Grievous is just such an interesting name choice.
I know.
It's like, do you have to be so on the nose? I guess so.
Yes.
I do think he is a cool, strange monster thing, and that would have been a worse name. General
Agreed.
Cool,
Yeah,
Strange
no.
Monster Thing.
General.
Can you imagine
Strange, cool monster
the
thing.
intern in the back? Can we just call him Cool Strange Monster Thing? Get out here, Bob. We'll
Yeah.
let you in here.
But I think he really does serve his purpose well. As the scene's coming up where they needed to focus for an actual threat to the Jedi that symbolically taking him out ends the war.
Yes.
Or sort of strategically not
Oh
so
my god, I
volatile.
love his little villain playing with his claw or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like,
Also
stop.
cool that he moved his cape away so he didn't sit
Yes.
on his cape.
Yes.
Very elegant. That'd be embarrassing.
He's a classy man.
Yeah,
He
he's
wants
he's
to
a
be.
well-seasoned warrior.
Yeah.
The Great Lords of the Sith book, which is in the new canon, directly references this the landing of this ship.
Oh,
Yep.
I mean, already being on Coruscant right now and looking up and just going, well,
Well.
and then now especially the galaxy at war.
Yeah.
What was that?
I
How are
feel
you
like
so
the way
damn
Palpatine
calm?
looked at him, R2 just said something just horribly filthy.
He was probably just swearing the whole
Something
time.
something not family friendly.
Yeah.
I would see a road trip movie with Sheev and R2.
I'm
Like-
okay with that.
Like just two clashing personalities that don't really fit, but they have to come together to perform a goal.
Yeah. Certainly a lot of great banter.
Yes.
Mostly swearing, I think. But
Mostly from R2.
Yeah.
See, like right
See
there.
right there, yeah. It's like, all right, buddy.
Definitely a cuss or two.
it's also interesting that
Probably 3.
Anakin it seems to totally comprehend R2's beeps and bloops. And Luke does need to use the translator in the X-Wing to know exactly what R2 is saying.
Because astromech isn't genetic when it comes to language.
He makes the greatest reaction faces. It's
I
the
don't
best.
think he knows exactly what he's saying, but I think it's trying to mirror like a Han and Chewie relationship.
Yeah.
Though it's entirely possible that Han knows how to speak Wookiee.
I think Han
I
knows
mean,
explicitly
yeah.
how to speak Wookiee.
Yeah, because I feel like he needs to.
Yeah. And that's in Lost Stars, too, that Thane learns Wookiee.
Hey,
Hey.
Yeah.
he just needs like
Happy Obi-Wan.
a brandy sifter in his hand. If somebody could just Photoshop that in on
Yes.
most shots, I think.
Elegant bone moss. And somewhere in this scene is the Falcon landing.
Yeah,
there
I see
it is,
it.
right
And
down
I'm
at
like,
the bottom of the screen.
Hey, friend.
Nice.
Do we know who has it at this point?
Nope.
Awesome.
If it's anywhere
it
in
was a
new
cool
canon, I don't think I am aware of it.
So I don't think we have this period in new canon yet.
No, I don't think the
Nope.
kind of backstories have been filled in.
We just have the
Sith as much.
very end of this movie at the beginning of Lost Stars.
There's I think a lot of great work in the first half of this film of really building up their relationship of liking one another. You know,
Yeah.
that was, for my 2 cents, a little bit missing in Attack of the Clones, where they're kind of at odds a lot. And seeing that they're friends, that they actually do like and respect each other.
And also how openly and nonchalantly he said, "Dude, you killed Count Dooku. Awesome."
Yeah, like, I'm really, really impressed.
Yeah.
Giving in to your feelings.
Yeah. And the line that Obi-Wan just had about that bit of business that happened on Cato Nemodia doesn't count, like that feels like classic Star
Yeah.
Wars to me, of
Yeah.
referencing cool stuff that we didn't get to see off
Never
screen.
saw.
Yeah.
I like how a Jedi, the word coward is like the dirtiest word you can call
Yeah.
anybody. I think you can also ask yourself as you're watching the film, some things get filled in if in the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, how many exact beats and moments are part of Palpatine's master plan. And it seems like there he really is trying to put the focus on General Grievous, which suggests it's part of his plan for Obi-Wan to get off the planet while he's turning Anakin.
Yeah.
Shadow wife, literally.
Right? Like, for real.
And her most straight up Leia.
See me.
Leia style.
No one can see me. I'm in the shadows.
I'm wearing a robe. It's a secret.
And we got the buns already.
Yep.
Some sweet buns.
I like
sweet
seeing
buns.
like seeing the Leia buns.
Yeah.
Hey, Anakin, where'd you... Oh. All it takes is one person to turn around.
Yep.
So, Alexis, how do you feel? I know you haven't seen the prequels a bunch, but how do you feel about the romance in general? Do you like their romance? Do you feel like it is strained?
I'm like half and half because
That was almost an R2 noise you made.
it was really close. If I could do an R2 scream right now, I would. But I feel like I'm feeling more of General Grievous with my voice right now. But like, I in the beginning, it was very awkward, especially in like the meadow scene and just like, but but I mean, in general, I've been wanting this to happen for a long time. I wanted to see how Mom and Dad met, but at the same time, there are just some lines that you're just like cringing when they say it to each other.
Yeah, and I feel like Revenge of the Sith is also better on that. I feel like there are a couple of lines that are not the best written.
But relationship-wise,
that's a great moment right there from Hayden, which seems a little bit more like real and vulnerable.
I feel like this movie really showed their love more than any of the others, to be honest. And I've always liked that. It's just I'm weird about cheese.
But I could also like this
person
first
back
scene.
There can't see that. No, okay.
This first scene was already like so much like you could feel it a lot more. Than in episode 2.
I completely agree.
And I know I'm going to be a broken record this show, but that was one of my favorite things about Clone Wars was seeing how much they did get to spend together.
Yeah. We get that little hint that they kind of hang out in her apartment together.
Yeah.
So you get the sense of like,
they
actually live together. Yeah.
Well, that's why I was saying, because from the first time that they were, Anakin has been older, and they're, it's that awkward stages of getting to know you, kind of, and dating. Now at this point, they've obviously had a lot of time together, even though they haven't physically been around.
Yeah, and getting a little bit more of that star-crossed Shakespearean feel because they've been at war, and he really truly could die.
Yeah. So I just feel like it's just grown to immense power. I love that. Sorry.
Yeah, Grievous does a lot of cape working.
That's the one thing I'm just like, you're just fantastic.
Show me. So many extra vowels in Mustafar, and I love it.
Mustafar system.
And this line. So that does suggest that he is manipulating most of the events of the movie and has a timetable.
Yeah.
And maybe he can improvise. Maybe he can yes and things if they don't go his way. But he's got a timetable of like, Anakin's turning now, I'm ending the war.
Do you think it would have helped at all if somebody said Phantom Menace once in this movie? No? Okay. It's like, it was him. The Phantom Menace.
Nope. I probably would have just been I just would have been at my chair going, boo.
Attacked. Yes. The menace Phantom has.
See, okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
No. We're talking about what we like and what we don't.
This is a petty thing because I'm a girl and right now I don't have my curly hair out, but I know you're not supposed to do that.
I have opinions on hair. It's
tangles up in here. Well, no, I love it because Daniel in the chat and I were talking about Obi-Wan or Ewan's hair and how it just looks perfect in every shot, and there's even times where he'll like fix it and it was just really funny because I was watching her fake brush her hair and I'm like, you don't do that, your curls are okay.
Well, to be fair, this is a movie about space wizards who fight with laser swords.
That's true. That's
she
why
could have some sort of electro comb that is actually curling it.
That would be the best thing ever, and I need that to be done for me.
See,
I just look like
really different wipe there. I never noticed that.
The square wipe?
The square wipe.
It's like they were just looking at what soft wipes they had and went, oh, we haven't used this one yet.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's going to something we don't see much of in Star Wars.
You get to see, it takes you into a realm of, oh, this isn't usual. What is this?
And actually better, like we were talking about with Attack of the Clones, we see Anakin upset first, and it looks like a sexy dream. Then we see what he's upset about. Much better to do it this way, to see what's upsetting him, than see him upset.
Yeah.
Okay, here is a very pedantic thing that has always bothered me.
Okay.
In Attack the Clones, it looks like Dooku cuts his arm off above the elbow.
Okay.
So then it always bugs me in Revenge of the Sith that the mechanical goes about up to the elbow.
That's what I actually wanted to talk to you about because my dad has the same qualm with it.
I like your dad so
Yeah,
much.
right? That we
Everything
were
you
talking
say
about
about
it because
your
it
dad.
looked like it was like way up here, and then when we watched this movie, he's like, "What? Wait, it's what?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Dad, I would have
lot
never noticed that."
Easier to animate.
Yes, I completely agree.
Sometimes it's just, and also as a like a prosthetic to wear for a sleeve. You
Yeah,
know,
it has to end
go
at the
up,
elbow.
Go up there, make it. A
And I
little
think
bit
I
easier.
told my dad that, and he was just like, "Stick
No.
with it."
No, Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so upset.
Yeah, so I like the reintroduction of
Yes.
that guy, the necklace he made her.
Yeah.
And obviously the return of these dreams. I feel like that Palpatine Sidious is using the dark side to deliver these dreams. I feel like maybe the dreams of his mom came naturally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's just utter fan conjecture from me.
And that could have been something that the Emperor sensed and could figure out a way to push a little bit.
Right, in that
Yeah.
Anakin came and told him about it clearly. So
Exactly.
he knew, like, oh, wow, this is really where to put the screws to him.
Yeah.
But I never really noticed Padme's line about when are we going to be honest with each other.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah.
that, like stuff like Anakin's always kind of keeping stuff from her.
And I always thought that that's just his way of protecting her, but I was like, but it's a relationship, you have to be honest.
Yeah. Well, especially since he opened up to her so much in Attack of
Yeah.
the Clones and told her about killing the Sand People.
She was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, it's fine. It happens all the
All the
time."
time.
Well, I think she knows that there's some darkness in him, and she probably wants to, help him through it. She saw his childhood,
Yeah.
a lonely slave boy building protocol droids to hang out with in his
Blow
bedroom.
you up. Boom.
Yeah.
God, that was 2 weeks ago. Hopefully it'll inherit my sweet hair.
Yep.
They do have nice matching hair.
That was what I was gonna say. I was like, these kids
Yeah, there's somebody-
obviously have some sweet hair.
Somebody in the chat was like, "This movie is all about hair."
Yeah.
No, I mean, and that's another thing.
You can tell that Leia and Luke are
Yeah, no,
very
they
different
have-
people because their hair is straight. There's
Oh.
no, I mean, Leia, I think, curls it
Oh,
when
at
she
the
wants.
at the very ends there.
But,
Sorry.
I think this scene also goes a lot toward showing Anakin trying to be a good Jedi,
Yes.
of going to Yoda and just getting an answer that does not work for him at all.
Nope. A show that I'm watching currently has ruined the silhouette for eyes as Moonbeam City.
Okay.
So now I can't help but laugh every single time I see a shot where it's supposed to be a serious thing.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah, no,
lights
it's
just right
understandable, and it goes back to like Lucas liking lots of different film styles. I think this is a very noir shot,
Very noir.
and
Yeah.
not the kind of shot you see much in Star Wars at
Yeah.
all. So it is also telling you that like
there. This is
the literal like there's light behind the blinds if you'd open them.
yeah.
but
Just
no,
we're just gonna be sitting in the dark.
Just that. Just do that really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's
Just that.
I think it's really interesting because it's not clear good and evil. I think that's a
Yeah.
big moral human question to say like, should you be totally fine? Obviously, you shouldn't do insane things to save people you love and go to lengths of evil. But should you just be totally chill about like, oh yeah? And it's also hypocritical because Yoda has shown that he's not willing to just. He wasn't willing to just let the Jedi die in the Geonosian arena.
Yeah.
He showed up with the clones and saved them. So Yoda is being a little bit of a hypocrite from what we've seen in the movies.
Yeah.
And a little bit of friction here.
Like always.
I like that got introduced in Attack of the Clones and continues really strong here in Revenge of the Sith. That not only is Obi-Wan kind of a little bit of a grump, but he really just doesn't like politics. And I like that connection to real world grumpy, where like you have your relatives, your in-laws who won't stop talking about
Yes.
politics, and you have the ones like not at the dinner table with that BS.
Yep.
They're all liars.
That's
Kids are here.
Yeah, that's my family.
Don't trust any of them. It's all BS. Politics.
And he called him son.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
let him finish.
I know, jeez.
So originally there was a lot much more of this sort of political plot of the conflict between the legitimate conflict between the Jedi and the government, like ignoring that he's a Sith Lord, of the struggle for power. And originally it was built up that Anakin did sort of legitimately believe that the Jedi are trying to overthrow the government. And a little bit of that is retained, but Lucas really reshaped it to keep the focus on the emotional reasons for Anakin's fall.
Yeah.
But I like that there's a lot of that sort of the rational side of how Anakin could believe that having an empire and being in charge of it is a good thing.
Right.
I think that move is 100% legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Because he, like, Palpatine didn't say anything like, "Hey, I want you to be a master now." He said, "You're going to be my representative."
Yeah.
And Anakin goes, "A master?
I know.
Ooh, no."
Right, so we get, among the fear of loss, we get a little bit of the ambition and a little bit of that, what he talks about blatantly in Attack of the Clones is being upset that other Jedi are jealous of his powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
super
disappointed father
that is,
face.
that is disappointed father animated GIF.
Oh, I
Number
love that.
one.
Yes,
You know,
it's
like,
one of my favorites.
If I ever have children, I'm using that animated GIF
you
on my
have
kids
to.
when I'm not proud of them.
I got to see if that's on the
Nasty.
Star Wars app.
I
Like,
hope so.
disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that, unlike other times we've seen the Council, that the Jedi are spread thin enough that some of them are hologrammed in.
Yeah.
Cocoon, Kenamindi.
I love that line, too. Good relations with the Wookiees I have.
Actually have that tattooed on the nape
Right there.
my back.
Yeah. And a little bit of a tie to Return of the Jedi, since way back in the day, Lucas was going to have the Ewoks be Wookiees, and then decided they were too technologically advanced. So then in this movie that echoes Return of the Jedi, we actually do get to go see Wookiees with bowcasters.
Yeah.
There's a line implied in chat. If Sam Jackson was able to speak to
curse.
his full potential.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
he
like,
he says
take a
plenty of
seat.
MFers with his eyes.
Oh,
Oh yeah, and I love that.
So yeah, I like that this also can be seen from two legitimate points of view, that the Jedi have come to distrust Palpatine, that it seems like he doesn't want to give up all of his supreme powers, so it's understandable that they would want to check up on him. But it's also kind of it's the shady side of the Jedi to lie and spread mistrust, and
Yeah.
Yes.
and I like also that the Obi-Wan almost always follows the Council.
Yeah.
He didn't follow the Council when he insisted on taking Anakin as a Padawan.
Nope.
He rammed that through, and now kind of at the end of this relationship, he's also like, this is really unfair to Anakin.
Yeah.
Why you got to do this, guys? Come on. I think these moments are probably ones that Obi-Wan thinks about a lot in his little cave hut on Tatooine. I think that was a great delivery by Ewan McGregor that has all of the weight of those conflicted emotions. And just downright sad. You're right, it is all about hair. That's the first time we've ever seen Yoda fix his hair.
Like, my dad has sat there and he's like, is he actually having like a stressed out moment where he has to pull his hair back?
I think
he's just like, oh, God.
Now, I like that they're explicit about this. That is a wish I have for the prequels. I wish that we would have gotten a little bit more of the Jedi discussing what they believe the prophecy to be.
Yeah.
Because in the actual dialogue of the prequels, the idea of what it means to bring balance to the Force is a little bit ambiguous. It becomes explicit in this that some Jedi interpret it as destroying all the Sith.
Yeah.
But it is certainly up for discussion. And for all the elegance that the Palpatine scenes have, I think the Jedi get a lot of stiff dialogue in Revenge of the Sith, which is it kind of works for the title. That even the dialogue is the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
That the Jedi don't get better, more explicit dialogue.
Newt Gunray, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, and for how oblivious our heroes, our heroes are oblivious to a lot of things going on in the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. So I like that they are actually starting to. It makes our heroes smarter that the Jedi and Padme are starting to figure out, like,
Yeah.
things are not right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That delivery of that line, that felt like a real relationship too.
Yeah.
Like there was a little bit of an implied metaphor
it
in
was
that
like,
one too.
ooh.
And also,
That was a
bro,
little too
chill.
close. Yeah.
Well, what if I just kill them all? That'll work.
Well.
That's a great shot.
It was.
Yeah, it's very nice, and you can see Anakin's tension, and I think him also, like, on the rational side, thinking about it would be better if just one person was in charge.
Yeah.
I agree.
And he believes Palpatine is wise. Random Gungan, and I think Lucas himself is in one of these scenes here
Yeah,
at the
he
Opera
is.
House. There,
Yeah,
there
he's
in
right
the
there.
corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, my kids thought,
Okay, so this is my favorite scene in
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
the prequels.
weird space opera.
Hey,
And
man, I think it's awesome.
all of his
It's no phenomenon.
advisors that he gets rid of right now,
Come closer.
his advisors look creepy.
Yeah.
Super creepy bald lady
Yeah.
in big old chair dress. everything.
Nothing too out of
But,
order
yeah.
if you've seen Farscape.
Yeah. I thought that when I was a kid, I thought that that alien in the back was wearing a bib. I was very
Yeah.
confused. I was just like, hey, I have that same bib.
But like even in his Palpatine guise, he has gotten very barky and order giving.
Yeah.
And,
Get
and-
out.
Yeah.
Get out.
And he dropped all supposition.
Yeah. It's a lot of Anakin just not understanding or being confused.
Yeah, I think he's doing.
understand.
I think Hayden does a better job
What
in
do you mean?
this movie of playing an internal struggle of like instead of barking what he thinks, he's constantly asking questions.
Yeah, and I feel like this Anakin just went through a lot mentally and psychologically through this
Yeah.
movie, and I just, I always feel bad for him.
Oh, and I didn't notice the Imperial Guards are now in red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that they've shifted from blue. Yeah, and Ian McDiarmid is just so amazing in this
Yeah.
scene. And, you know, we've discussed before, he's a big British stage actor. And sometimes he plays things super big, which we're going to see in a minute.
Yeah.
But he also plays things super intimately, and I think probably is a really experienced stage actor. This complex manipulation where there's a lot going on with the subtext makes a lot of sense to him as an actor.
Yeah, no, I agree.
More so than some of the, like, run through a corridor. Pretend a droid's shooting stuff at you.
Ah.
Hey.
I like that
Certain
line
point
too.
of view theme. Yeah, and this is some of the most explicit discussion of Jedi versus Sith philosophy. Like, we hear a lot about what Yoda thinks of Sith versus the dark side and Empire, but certainly for the prequels.
Oh, sweet eye shifting.
Mm-hmm.
I love that that the scene takes its time for him to decide
Yeah.
Yeah.
how am I. is this the moment? Am I going to roll it out this way? I'm like, yep.
Yeah. Someone was like, Planet of the Dolphins.
Yeah. Now, this is supposed to be a Mon Calamari opera, Admiral Akbar's people, and I wish we could see the dancing, the movement,
I think it would've been
the
really cool.
entertainment just a little bit more clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Live.
Love that dramatic
Yeah.
pause.
The slow and creepy.
A little head tilt. Live. Red flag? No? Nobody? All right.
Nope. I love that line, and I love how much it gets supported. We're told that the Sith are evil, but we get to see and feel the sort of in the filmmaking, like, this is awful. Like, when he turns later, he feels really unnatural.
Yeah. No, I don't like it.
And there's nothing explicit in the dialogue here that that Sidious is Plagueis' apprentice.
Yeah.
And I think that it's made canon somewhere else.
Yeah.
In current canon, I believe in the novel Tarkin.
And I do like how this is a callback to, I'll even learn a way to stop people from dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And when I first saw this scene, like, all of the language about Anakin's fall, about being seduced from the dark side, you know, I'd always thought it would be that, like, the powers themselves are enchanting. Or, like, when you're angry, it is tempting to stay in that moment.
Yeah.
So I was thrilled that there was, like, a deeper level to it. Like, a true manipulation where it wasn't just about being obsessed with power.
Yeah.
It was, which there is an element of that, but the idea that it is something super relatable.
Wow, Yoda looks so tiny.
How do you guys feel about Yoda hanging out with Wookiees?
I think it's
Do you
awesome.
love it, or does it seem like
It
this
seems
is
a little off,
this
but it's-
slash fiction?
Yeah,
It's
it's
definitely
definitely-
like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also
think
like seeing the Force Troopers,
Yes.
or the earliest version of the Force Troopers.
Yeah, yeah, the biker scouts. Type.
Yes.
Yeah. Forest troopers would be more accurate.
I conquer.
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this works to Palpatine's advantage that Obi-Wan is off-planet. It works to make Anakin a little bit more angry that people aren't valuing his skills and power. I think in the original novelization, it is part of Palpatine's plan that Obi-Wan is off-world, but it's weird to think about how he would have made that happen.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I rewound that to watch the different Wookiees and the ways they shake their heads.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I just saw something I never saw before, but one Wookiee who, like, shakes his whole head and has, like, he's got, like, a biker beard.
Really?
Very scary.
I missed
Ja-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
I just like looking at the commander. He's my favorite.
Yeah, the spider droid out of the water.
Those things are creepy.
Yeah.
it's cool to see more. I mean, that was an unfortunate callback.
Unfortunate callback to Return of the Jedi, but
Yeah.
but the
Callback nonetheless.
to the Wookiee Yoda thing.
Oh,
Always
jeez.
like that
Crap,
shot where
crap.
Yoda's like, not in the ass. Not in the ass.
Don't hurt me. Oh God.
He looks so annoyed and peeved.
And a fun personal fact: I never heard that Tarzan yell until this past year.
Really?
Oh, really?
Really.
Watching this movie?
No, watching Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought it was cool.
I was just like, war, awesome, and then I went, oh, why? All right.
Yes.
Is this movie for kids?
Yeah. I mean, that is a weird part of Star Wars, is that a lot of things that upset us fans in different ways is this sort of broad humor, and yet it is a part of Star Wars, and it's always there, and we always wrestle with it at different levels, I think.
And I like how Obi-Wan's trying to bring him back. He definitely senses everything. He's like, yo, remember all the stuff we did and how cool you are?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
stick to that.
yeah,
breathe.
talking about how proud of him he is. Yeah.
And also with you. I don't know.
Was that is this their last scene as friends?
I
Yes.
believe so.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
And I know, yeah, and that's a great little
Even-
bit of acting on Hayden's
Yeah, even
part
just the
where
look.
he does actually love him and feels good that Obi-Wan commended him, but then he knows he has all this stuff to deal with and he has to deal with it without Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Do you think if Obi-Wan was able to stay, it would have been different?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the sort of Shakespearean tragedy moments where Obi-Wan would have been like coming up here when Palpatine reveals himself as a Sith to Anakin, that Anakin might have been able to talk it out a little bit better with Obi-Wan.
Right.
Or certainly Obi-Wan would have gone with Mace Windu to confront
You're right.
Palpatine, and that would have made it, I think, more emotionally dense and difficult for Anakin when we get to that scene.
I love what Mike said in the chat. Later, I will cut off all your limbs, but for now, may the Force be with you.
Yeah, and I love including
He's-
this
yeah.
that he sees Obi-Wan with her, which is going to increase that little bit of strange jealousy
What?
Yeah.
that he has. That's utterly unfounded.
Sweet
Yeah.
Sega Game Gear he just
I
put
know,
down.
right?
Yeah.
It's like someone's...
I also like the connection of these visions to Luke's visions of his friends in danger and how, always in motion is the future and how cautious Yoda is of
Right.
like, these visions can sometimes be our fears and we can make them happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a really nice connection to Empire.
She's looking very Gone with the Wind right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went from brown to full black.
Yeah. Even her wearing all black was kind of like a symbol for me of like, death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's definitely in darker tones.
Because we're so used to seeing her in bright, vivid colors, and I noticed in this
Yeah.
movie that was all dark.
Yeah, I
colors.
hadn't really fully appreciated that. But yeah, looking at what everyone in this movie is wearing compared to like the first season of Rebels. Like,
Yeah.
orange!
Yeah, it's just orange everywhere.
Yellow! Yay!
Yellow, orange, and white.
That was really specific.
Yes.
No, it's not during. It's
No,
after.
no,
Like
it's
right
after, like,
after.
Another
Literally right
another
after.
different wipe there, a little V wipe.
Someone said Gone with the Force. But yeah, just a lot of foreshadowing.
I would like to see Utapau come back. I think it's a weird, interesting idea that they just live in giant sinkholes.
Yeah, I always thought that was very
sweet
interesting and sad.
Glow mushrooms.
What's that?
Sweet glow mushrooms as well.
You're a glow mushroom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it
Scary
does,
bone cage.
It does have a very natural look, though.
Yeah. A thing that's in the novelization of Revenge of the Sith that I really like is the idea that they have sent Obi-Wan to face Grievous because his style of lightsaber fighting is the most defensive. He's
Yeah.
the least aggressive, and
Yeah.
that's the best thing when a guy's coming at you with 4 lightsabers, to just be like, the important thing is you don't cut me apart, and eventually I'll get around to cutting you
Yeah,
apart.
and that's what we were talking about, was that Obi-Wan's fighting skills, which is very defensive, is just perfect.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Now, I believe the Inquisitor from the first season of Rebels is either a very close design or an Utapauan?
Udapan?
Utapauan?
What a pound.
Utapauan?
Yeah. The corduroy-faced Udapan.
Yes, thank you.
I like that line too.
So
I think he's
strange.
really, really cocky. I thought he was our only hope, but maybe he's literally our only hope.
Yep.
Nice to see him with his hood up, looking real,
Yeah,
real Ewan, real Alec Guinness,
Yeah, it's great.
and into the shadows. So exactly the kind of thing that we see Obi-Wan doing in A New Hope. skulking through the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh my god, I love
And
these
we're
so
here.
much.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual alien's name. The lizard's name, its personal name is Boga.
I know, and I
Which is
think
nice.
it's so cool.
So what do you like about the design? Just that we haven't seen lizards,
It's the closest
the
thing
feather?
to a dragon for me.
Okay.
Even though it doesn't fly, I just think, and I love that there's just so much personality of like, I'm ready to go.
This is one of my favorite lines coming up. He's going to say it in just a second after he gets more
one
Boga
dude
around.
on the council.
Yep.
Why?
Yes, it's so great.
Yeah.
There he goes.
That's what
Yeah.
It is a volcanic planet. You will be safe there. Doesn't sound like a
Safe?
safe planet.
Excuse me?
It's the best Nemodian line.
Excuse me?
Safe? Yeah. Boo.
Yeah, I was just
Boo.
like,
Where's my couch ejector seat?
yeah, I was just like, get out.
It was confirmed by somebody in chat that the Inquisitor is Utapown.
Awesome.
Oh.
Awesome.
Flanko.
I'm really glad that that is actually
Yeehaw.
a
Thanks,
thing
guys.
and not just too similar design.
Mm-hmm.
And a nice prequel connection to Rebels.
Yeah. Like, I gotta stay in secret.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll just show up.
Forget
Well,
it.
I like his
Here we
philosophy
go.
is just like
Hello there.
spring the trap
Hello there.
Yeah.
and distract them. I think technically distract them. Hello.
I love it. It really speaks into maybe not Obi-Wan, but definitely Ewan.
Well, yeah, and, with the Clone Wars animated series, knowing that these two have had an animosity for a long
Yes.
time, and they've faced off a lot, adds a lot to it. And then also Obi-Wan knows, I love that too,
Yeah.
that he needs to distract them while the Republic forces show up.
Yep.
This is a fun
Yeah.
shot.
Nope. You're dead.
Nope. Don't get up.
No, please.
No,
stay
please.
down.
Yeah, just stay there.
Yeah.
Let me. I just feel like he could have just
Yeah, and
and you're dead.
right through the one organ he has left.
Yes, thank you.
He might have lots of teeny tiny organs in the back, maybe.
But it might have been a major one.
Do you think that line had any weight? I was
Which
taught the
one?
Jedi Arts by Count Dooku.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
think the idea is
Look at that smile. That's the smile that I was talking about with somebody, and I was just like, he knew. As soon as he sat there and pulled out his multiple lightsabers, he was just like, oh, you just played into my trap. I can totally kill you so
Yeah.
easily.
Or even just that he's trusting the Force, trusting his ability.
Yeah.
He's not angry. He's not
I just think
scared.
you
He's
don't-
just in the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you don't really, like... So, I mean, you do see him smirk here and there, but like
Yeah.
right before a fight, because he's usually pretty grumpy about it, you could tell he was really confident. He's like, yeah, this plays into my strengths.
Yeah.
I would like to think that Count Dooku was
him
like,
down.
and then you just twirl your
Yes.
robot arms around a lot.
Well, yeah.
That
He,
will
Also,
he's,
make sure to
Confused
hit the
them.
ground and make sparks fly. Very intimidating.
he's got,
Will work
he's got
for your
two free for
advantage.
flair. I think that's fine.
No, he gets points. He gets brownie points for
So
flair.
many hand loss.
I would have loved if, like, someone was walking and then one of General Grievous' hands just falls and they're like, what? What?
And mission accomplished.
Whee!
You guys are not paying attention at all.
I didn't see the tethers for a second, and I thought that they just floated
Flew
down
down?
with these.
No.
No
No.
jetpacks yet.
No, I do think Dooku training him is significant
Jeez.
because it's not made explicit here, but it's made explicit elsewhere. The idea of the different
I love
lightsaber
that
styles, and the idea that he has
Yeah.
mastered all these different styles, which explains why he's good at killing Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite shots of seeing his eyes,
Yeah, the close
Since
of his
he's-
eyes
yeah.
is great. Yeah.
just to really show that, that insect-like character.
creepy.
Yeah, on yesterday's Jedi Alliance, we talked a little bit about horror in Star Wars, and that's a pretty horrific
No,
shot.
it's
pretty
that's like as
creepy
a-
crawly.
Yeah, my brothers were very little when they saw this movie, so they were just like, ah. I'm like, sorry. Should have saw that one coming.
I will. There's and again another thing that I can't
Ooh, all
go
right.
a show without mentioning. They do have a vehicle available in Disney Infinity that's Grievous's little
Really?
Oh, his rolling
single wheel
device?
thing.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought those things would have been cool to drive around in.
Yeah. And I suppose also it supports another sort of theme that mechanization is evil in the Star Wars universe, and organic is good. So you got Grievous.
What's
Oh,
this?
sweet, free lightsaber.
Okay, can I get to keep this?
Yeah.
He's just like, what the?
So, I mean, if they knew they were fighting Grievous, like, that's one of 5 lightsabers that could have fallen.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's Commander Cody. He knows Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber very
Yeah,
well.
very well.
He knows exactly who it is, and he knows that Obi-Wan's a little bit in trouble without it.
Well, yeah. And obviously just the fact of, like, it fell from how high? Like, what?
Now you
yeah.
sense a plot.
Wow.
Yeah,
where
so
have you been?
I don't like that line. I like a lot of things in the prequels, so I try to point out things I don't like.
Yeah.
And I wish that this had been a more elegant conversation
Yeah, I agree.
and connect.
I feel like it was very abrupt, you know?
But this is important too, that they are actually literally considering taking over the government for a few minutes.
Yeah.
It has to be
Sitting
red.
in his evil chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Well,
it has to be red.
Yeah, and I have to think that Palpatine is confident and as evil as he is just a little bit nervous about the moment where he shows himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, can I
Can I do
successfully
it?
turn Anakin quick enough to keep everything rolling the way I want it to?
Yeah, and then what
Prep,
happens
prep,
if,
prep.
let's say, it went south and he decided to kill him when he revealed himself? Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Palpatine feels like, well, I could probably
I could probably-
eventually find another apprentice, but man, he's
Yeah.
been working on this one for a
For a
long
whi-
time.
yeah,
He's the
exactly.
chosen one, possibly born
Yeah.
to be this. Going back to the opera scene, I do also like it that it is not made explicit that Palpatine or Plagueis or anybody did create Anakin, that it's just the possibility that he was created.
Well, I have to agree with Daniel in the chat that it's like, his office just screams evil. I'm like, yes, it does.
It's changed a lot over the 3 movies.
Yeah,
Chancellor Valorum?
Flag number 2.
Yeah, not a flag, an admission.
Yeah, like, guys, it's like right there.
But I also like that he is presenting the dark side it's not evil. It is the whole picture. It is.
Yeah.
It's not from a certain point of view. The dark side is seeing the whole picture to
Yeah.
know both the dark and the light. Which
Yeah.
he's kind of lying a little bit, but he's a Sith.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
that comes with the territory.
like there's also just like a little bit of swagger in his body language that starts to suggest maybe he can move real fast.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust him.
He's getting way too specific.
Yeah.
Just art design wise, I
Hold
love
on.
that whole picture in the background, the sculpture. Yeah, and throughout the movie, he continues to kind of sell this idea that them controlling things is not just the pursuit of power, but it's best for the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, chill.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, for
so
real.
on one hand, I find it funny because it does get to be over the top, but on the other hand, I like that
It's
it's
so-
truly unnatural.
Yeah.
it's
no,
creepy.
it's the creepiest thing when he says certain words.
Yes, and he is really into enjoying feeling that anger.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, you're enjoying that a little too much. Daniel's like, I love this circling.
It's a little cliche, but
It is.
it's also a very easy thing to pick
but
up
I
on.
yeah, but I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
notice it until someone actually points it out.
Yeah, and a lot of things in the prequels are staged
Ah,
stiffly,
feathers.
and I love that there's movement, there's energy,
Yeah.
and there should be movement and energy in that scene. If it had just been sort of camera A, camera B, 2 shots, It would have been way too stiff.
Yeah, I agree.
That needed to be an important blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a really important scene, too, so you can't just be sitting there cutting back and forth also.
And a couple times we saw Anakin lower his saber as
Yeah.
opposed to keeping it at the ready.
Yeah.
Because he was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, we'll see Anakin try to do the right thing of go and tell the other Jedi.
Yeah.
So he does try. He does seem like he falls fast, but he does try when you break it down.
No, I mean, he has a lot on his mind. Can't help it.
And I always like a little bit of fisticuffs in my Star Wars, so I was happy to see Obi-Wan lose his lightsaber and have to
Punch a
some other
robot.
things.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, sitting there,
He's like
have
guard
to-
up like this won't help much.
I think he does. Yeah.
Oh, there it
get
is.
handsy.
Get handsy.
I think "Get Handsy Obi-Wan" has been said several times on Tumblr.
Yeah,
Yep.
no.
Yeah.
As a person who's
That
like,
was stupid.
Yeah, he's always willing to do his
hey
duty,
man, at
even when
least
it
he's
doesn't
trying. He could
Yeah.
have just been like, I'm just gonna lay here.
work. And then Obi-Wan's like, I've been here before.
Yeah.
Yep.
The villain in Phantom Menace, same thing.
I do like seeing thinking that there was
no.
a shot.
I am on
Hearts
fire.
on fire.
I'm on fire.
For you Rocky fans.
I
Hi,
had-
JT.
Jeez,
I had
yes.
never really noticed that this is the same actual strategy that he does use in Phantom Menace. Is somebody knocks him over the cliff, it knocks him over a ledge, gets cocky that they've got him, and he remembers a discarded weapon
Yeah.
that his opponent does not. The
Yeah.
exact same way he beats Darth Maul.
Wow, did not think about that. So uncivilized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't like blasters.
No, I know. But he didn't really have a choice on this one.
I like Lucas's commitment to showing you that villains are dead too. How cremated
Yeah.
Grievous looks.
No, that was just like, all right.
Yeah.
He's dead, Jim. He's dead.
Holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
And I think this is another sort of Shakespearean turning point tragedy moment where
Mm-hmm.
if Mace had trusted Anakin and brought him with as one of the Jedi, then he wouldn't feel as forced out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know the guy. I know the key codes to all of his offices.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great just condensing of all of the problems that the Jedi and
Yeah.
Anakin have had, where the Jedi don't reach out and sort of comfort him, except for
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. Don't reach out to him and understand what he's going through. Just really expect him to be obedient and understand this very
I
stiff,
know.
dogmatic way.
Yeah, exactly.
Palpatine just called the Jedi dogmatic, and here they are being very, very set in their ways,
Yeah.
proving
He
what
was
Palpatine
right.
just said. Do you guys think Padme is at all Force sensitive?
Oh, I don't know. I never thought of it
I
that
think
way.
she's just got good intuition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit Force sensitive to kind of feel connected.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw this scene in the theater, I was just so thrilled and amazed because it is great for Lucas to slow down and spend his time. And I think this scene helps the speed of Anakin's turn in the upcoming scenes.
But this is also stuff that we need to see, and we've
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
This is the type of character development in the Downfall that was important, but we never got this type of this speed, quote unquote, in the Rise.
Right.
Right.
Everything was super quick, but now we actually have a chance to slow down.
Yeah, which I like that we can just kind of sit and kind of just marinate in this moment of him just becoming, like, clarifying what he wants.
Yeah.
And the scenes go from bright to sunset to
Yeah.
night.
Yes.
And,
which is
you know,
awesome.
the literal separation from him being in the Jedi Temple and her being in her space. Her staring out the window also echoes the shot of her in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
She's worried about the future.
I know some people who didn't appreciate him tearing up or something like that, and I was just like, well, it shows that he's going through he's going through inner turmoil.
Yeah, it connects him to Luke, because Luke is always presented as a very sensitive person. So it's nice to see a little bit of war-torn Anakin has that kind of sensitivity and vulnerability that Luke has.
I completely agree with you, and that's what I liked about it. It's just people are just
If
like, oh, he's so sensitive. I'm
If
like,
he's
but,
that
but,
force sensitive, imagine how actual sensitive he
yeah,
is.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yes!
like that. It calls back to I will make it legal. It's almost exactly.
Yes, it is.
I am
Ah,
oh, this has to be so much fun for him.
Yeah,
Your you love the corkscrew, I know.
it's the greatest thing.
I mean,
I love how like no one was prepared for it. They were just like, what?
crap.
That would be yet another
kick
example
this
for
out.
me of story versus execution. I like that he is so badass,
Yeah.
and they're so shocked and frightened that
That
they
they
don't
couldn't
react.
move. They were
But
just
it
like,
could have been executed better.
Yeah,
no
I
pun
completely agree.
intended.
They were, no, I completely, because they were just like, what? Oh gosh, I've been stabbed.
What do you guys think of the argument that by the time he's the Emperor we see in Jedi, he's like, you can get your Jedi weapon, but now he's like, oh, but he has one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like maybe he would have taken out. I mean, I think the truth is Lucas hadn't decided that.
Yeah.
all Jedi, all Sith, use
Yeah.
lightsabers all the time. But I think from a sort of headcanon,
like
make
a-
up your own thing of like he would have got it out if he absolutely needed it.
Yes,
yeah.
I completely agree with you on that though, and I feel like it's an emergency only.
1
weapon.
against 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm not going to be able to do that on my own. Maybe.
Yeah. I love cutting out the window.
Yes, me too.
Every time I see that window in the Clone Wars animated series, I think about like the fate of this office.
The
and
fate of
everything.
this office.
That window is going out of town.
Like you see people like washing it, and it's like, don't waste your time.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not going to last long. I love his facial reactions.
Oh, his
it's
emotion.
so great.
And he lost his lightsaber there. Another lightsaber.
But I
for
love
somebody to
how
find.
like he's so sporadic, and again back to your unnatural thing. He moves like an unnatural human being, and I'm like,
But Anakin doesn't get to see
yeah.
him with the lightsaber
Yeah.
being aggressive. It's
slaughtering,
just-
Which
and
just-
slaughtering the other Jedi. Yeah, utterly playing up how injured he is. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's legitimately
No,
defeated.
he's totally fine.
No,
Look at that face.
Yeah, and
Anakin's
this
like,
is
"What?"
this is unnatural, definitely, and
Yeah.
we can talk a little bit more about the what's going on with his face. But I think,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
It looks like he's.
he says very quietly, "Can't hold it in," which
Yeah.
suggests that he's not only disfigured, but that this is his honest face when he lets
Yeah.
all the evil out.
Mm-hmm.
Conceal, don't feel.
Concealed.
There we go.
There it is. Help me! Help me!
A nice sizzling sound effect. Thanks,
Yeah,
Ben Burtt.
no, thank you. That's real gross. We're so close.
Yeah.
Hashtag nope.
Yeah.
I like that he calls back to what
Mm-hmm.
Palpatine said about Dooku. And the Jedi don't hold to that. Sith Lord's got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just killed one earlier.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
man.
another hand.
Just
Oh,
hands.
a lot of arm.
Yeah,
A lot of arm and hands. Oh, look at that smile.
Yeah.
Stupid little smirk.
is that 5 lost limbs so far?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
I think so.
Power, unlimited power.
I did feel bad for Mace Windu here, though.
Yeah, so this is like
like-
super over the top, and people make fun of it. But I also like it
No,
because
but I
Palpatine's
liked
like,
it.
he's been waiting so long for this.
Look at that. Look at all that relief. Look at that. He's like, yes.
It is hard not to
Yes.
make.
What have you done, Anakin? What have
did
you
it.
done? I did it.
Yeah, and I think this moves a little too fast, but the bind they just put Anakin in is great.
No, I agree.
Really pushing all of his in a corner.
Look at that.
all of
He's
his
like
issues.
exhausted, and all he did was just yell.
Yeah.
Hugh in the chat says, I think in the novel it says that this is his real face unmasked.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like that a lot better than like, oh, the lightning, it burned his face, and now
Yeah, and
he
I
looks
think it's
exactly.
That is
little-
not what
little
I thought
both.
it was. I just thought
Yeah.
that he used something to keep his face from not looking like that.
Yeah.
It adds to the dark side being unnatural. There's
Yeah,
lots of
exactly.
unnatural, gross noises. Like he is.
Yeah.
We talked about in the Lost Stars novel when people see Vader and Palpatine, they just sense like, this is evil. This is awful.
Yeah.
And this scene really drives that.
And I liked Anakin's bargaining. To just, if you help me save Padme, what like
No, it just
that will make it okay.
Yeah.
Because that's why he's doing
yeah.
this.
Which I couldn't see him doing, joining the dark side for any other reason besides
Yeah.
protecting the ones that he loves, which is
And I think
Padme.
the other thing that is, hinted at is
Also really big
Anakin knows
perspective
he's
there.
not going to be able to sell to any other Jedi
Exactly.
what happened here.
Yeah.
If they have any inkling that he took out Mace.
Yeah. And I love how he looks so drained too, because
Yeah.
this is his last resort. He's like, I have to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I hate.
Yeah, it's like he has a second throat that's rumbling
Yeah.
for him. It's really
I don't even want to
unnatural.
think about that.
But he's speaking, and the rumbling is still coming. I love that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just perfect.
That is one of the powers of the dark side, is to add more vowels to any word.
Yes. I agree.
Yep.
Yep.
Feels it.
Yoda's starting to feel it. And still, in this scene, he is selling that there's the actual rational side of all this.
Yeah.
That the Empire, he's going to get to the line of the Empire will bring peace, which I love.
Love.
The Jedi are going to track him down and kill everybody.
Yep. Look how excited he is. Ah.
And now,
Now he understands everything.
yeah,
Oh, cool.
I think this is the part that it starts getting that he's not wrestling with it enough. I think if they had been able to somehow plot-wise swap it so Anakin killed all of the Separatists, people he actually hated first,
Yeah.
and started to get full of the power of the dark side that he feels he needs to do dark side things in order to get this power, then it would be a little bit more believable that he just immediately is like, okay, I will kill everyone
Right.
in the temple who's been my weird family.
I think this is a really good question from the chat. So who's recording this for Obi-Wan to see later in the holovids, which is from Chris, and everyone's just saying it's like a mall. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah, it's
And
the
I'm
Senate.
Yeah.
I think the we can look at it when it comes up. I think the holovid is actually taken from the Jedi Temple. The understanding being Anakin goes in, marches in, kills everyone with the clones, and then Palpatine comes into the temple, and that conversation
that's
recorded
the-
in the temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not this conversation.
Yeah, but it is confusing. And what will we have?
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I remember watching this and I couldn't hear what he said. I thought he just went,
And we
and
shall
I'm like,
have
what?
peace.
Or have air?
We shall
What
have
are you-
tea.
Yeah.
And
What?
We shall have peace. Yeah.
What? What? I'm so lost. It was like he was
So,
trying.
yeah.
It was like he was trying to whistle, but he couldn't whistle, so it just came out.
I would have. I know this is in the novelization as well. I would have loved to see more scenes of Anakin facing Jedi in the temple.
Yes.
There's a scene in the novel where a Jedi who had always been kind of contemptuous of Anakin is one of the ones that he faces off. So again, it's believable. Like, here's someone I actually have been mad at for years.
Yeah.
And I can let it out.
Yes.
And I would have loved to see something like that in the film itself.
Like Plo Koon. I don't know if I would have wanted. Or I forget all the people that they show in the Order 66 thing.
Yeah. We'll see them all here in just a moment.
Oh.
I like this move. The jumping
Yes.
on top.
And shooting it till
Taking
it's
it right
dead.
in his face.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and now we're going to get the payoff of this lightsaber thing here in a moment, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah, because I
Thank
like
you,
that
Cody.
it shows... It would have been easy to not have that moment that shows the companionship between the Jedi and the clones
Yeah.
in the movie and makes this more tragic. So yeah, when I first saw this in the theater too, I thought Order 66 is really cool. I still do. I think it's one of the things that even people who don't like the prequels like Order 66. It is, dramatic and tragic, and also explains how quickly the Jedi were dispatched.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Vader is hunting down.
Yeah,
what
this
remains.
whole sequence, it was
montage,
it just hurt every part of my soul. I was just like,
Mundi.
no.
Yeah, and I think well directed, because that gesture is great. Of like, hey, you've always got my back, right? Come on.
Yep.
Oh, we'll get your back,
Nope.
all right.
Yeah.
Hashtag nope.
I remember watching this with my family, and I cried.
Yeah.
And I might tear up. Just warning everyone now.
Oh, that's
Waterworks
fine.
will happen.
Hello, Felucia.
I always did like Felucia.
She was
Yeah.
my favorite.
Ayla Secura? The Jedi? Yeah. A little bit of an inelegant shot when she dies here in just a moment, which is too bad. But, yeah.
I was just like, oh, come on, that's
Just-
overkill. Let's not.
Nope, gotta be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I
really
was like,
feel
oh,
for Yoda.
my word.
But now that this is like, oh, the Wookiee thing was just a gimmick. But now it's like, nope, I'm really happy that
That
it
was
was
Yeah,
with the
right.
no,
Wookiee.
I
Yeah.
agree too.
Plo Koon.
Master
with,
Plo.
Yeah,
No.
with no elegance, just gets shot in the back. No chance.
Out of the sky. That's just BS.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm totally crying right now. That's the worst.
I think it's great. It should be a tragedy, and I think this is
Ugh.
legit.
Ah.
Nadia Galia.
Oh, it hurts my soul.
Yeah, we're making headway. Are
Yeah.
you, though?
Are you?
Yeah, and I like that. Maybe it's because Yoda is not in the midst of battle himself, but
Yeah,
maybe
'cause
it's because he's more powerful than other Jedi, or more mindful, that he can sense what is happening in time and do something really, really badass. Yeah.
I think it was it's
Yeah.
being more force sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly like that idea.
If they just had him reacting to it in this specific moment, it probably would have been more, how come him and how come nobody else?
Yeah.
But the fact that you saw him drop the cane
Yeah.
and sense everything
Yeah.
made
Sense
this
every moment of it.
100% legit.
Yeah, and start sensing it with Maze.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It took me a while
I can't.
I didn't recognize
can't
at first
do
that this is in the council room. The first time the Jedi were really harsh and cruel to young child Anakin.
Guys.
I know.
Then the kids all went there because it was the safest place.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and that kid's reaction is painful good.
I love that Tamani's like, they just kept shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that scene would have been really helped to see Anakin actually take out some adult Jedi first.
Instead of
Yes.
just going up straight up and killing
Straight
kids.
up and killing children. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, because the children idea is like, oh, he's got to take out everything because the Jedi will eventually come after them, and also to get enough evil.
Yeah, no,
Going.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm glad that Lucas did put it in there. I love this scene too.
Yeah. And so it is.
One of my favorite lines. And this is Lucas's son gets to do some cool action here.
Which is awesome. Good for him.
Zet Jukasa is the little Jedi's name.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I actually don't know his name. Oh, God.
He did well.
Good acting on him, though.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Dad, I want to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, good detail that we see, since Organa is so important to the rebellion and everything that's going to happen in the rest of the movie, that we get to see him.
Yes. Be
Yeah.
like, yeah. Instead of him just popping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that this movie learned from the other ones is instead of just having things happen, you have to set them up. You have to set them up proper.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't really walked through it like this, thinking about that as much, so it's fun.
jeez.
Think about the amount of that.
That's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get a good sense of like the horrific nature of the Empire too.
Which I like that, is that, it doesn't pull the punches. Like, this is something that is very tragic and sad
Yeah.
and brutal.
Do you think?
Let me
Do you
see, I
think
will.
that was a little bit too much to have Chewbacca as opposed to another Wookiee?
Like yeah, I'm fine seeing Chewbacca, but I wish that he feels very much in the background and a little on the nose that Yoda is buds with Chewbacca.
Yeah.
If they didn't name check him, just
Yeah.
like, hey man, you just helped me out right there. Thank you. What's your name? Actually, no, that would have been cheesy.
No, that would
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
Chewie
No,
is
I
great
don't
at
mind it.
tragedy roars, so it's good that we got to hear some
Yeah,
sad.
yeah.
Blockade, or that looks like the Rebel blockade runner.
Yeah, I think it is the Tantive 4.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, beautiful.
Yes, that's the first thing I was thinking of, was just how
Super clean.
yeah, how gorgeous it looks.
Yeah.
Well,
I hadn't really noticed also on previous viewings how many different style of clone like helmets there are. Like
Yeah.
that guy had a weird bubbly ice cream cone head helmet.
Do you get any sense of relief after seeing the Rebels episode with Rex saying we all have a choice?
Yeah,
About taking the chip out.
Yeah, and I like that is, if people haven't watched Clone Wars, the animated series, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I like that that's sort of directly dealt and addressed with
Yeah.
in the Clone Wars. And really humanizes that part of the clone story as well.
And does it give you hope for any other Lost Jedi out there?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting to think about if there's going to be more expanded fiction in this time period. I would love to see that. I would love to see more of Vader hunting Jedi. Like I know we
Yes.
have the Inquisitors for Rebels, and that's good and necessary. But I would really like to see some expanded fiction that is about Vader tracking down people Jedi who ran away.
Yeah.
So at this moment, I feel like Anakin must know that he's being a little duplicitous.
Yeah.
That like he knows there's no way that she'd be on board with him killing
yeah.
the younglings. So like he can believe that, but he
Yeah.
has to kind of be lying to himself about the
Yep.
younglings.
Especially since he's going to be a father himself. Like, I
Yeah.
thought that was so weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
I just killed some kids to make myself feel better.
Yeah, to
Maybe-
make sure that my kid can survive. What?
Yeah. And maybe just a little bit of justification of like the Jedi raised him kind of coldly.
Yeah.
That maybe he has some utter BS of like, well, these kids, their fate is sealed already. They're not going to have a good life with the Jedi.
I thought about that too.
Better be me than somebody else.
Else,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think I don't think
But
that's
it
a
still
good
kinda
rationale at all.
sucks, though.
Obviously, I mean, it's but just that for me, it's interesting to think about what sort of twisted lies that we can tell ourselves as humans when we're trying to convince ourselves that something awful is
Right.
even remotely okay.
Yeah.
It's a lava planet. They'll be safe there.
Safe?
But he is definitely buying into this lie that if
Yeah.
he does these few evil things,
We'll be good.
Well, we'll be fine. My
Tour of
family will be
service
safe. My
completed.
love
the
will be
government,
awesome.
the war will be over, and the war is the real problem.
Yeah.
The Jedi are gone, so we can just be married out in the
Yeah,
open.
and just be happy.
Palpatine seems a little more evil now, but
a little more.
But I think he's still maybe the guy that Anakin grew up with. I think Anakin is BSing himself.
Well, I tried.
I feel so
Great
helpless.
underacting by C-3PO.
Yes.
I'm glad he didn't do something,
Over the top. Oh.
yes, or try to get in a joke because it was too dark. you
Yeah,
know?
let's not do that.
The one thing Star Wars will never cheat you on is how a spaceship lands.
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter how pressed
That
for
was
time.
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, they just really know how to land a ship.
Really cool to see Obi-Wan and Yoda in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there is some expanded fiction that connects Kanan to this decision that he gave Obi-Wan the idea, which is a cool little connection.
Yeah.
Here we get to see Mustafa.
Oh, just need some lava for home.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this, I mean, if you're older and were a fan back in the days where not a lot of information was available, and rumors would float, there are little bits of information that Obi-Wan, Darth Vader have a fight in the lava planet. So it's really, really cool to see that finally in reality after like years of whispers between fans.
Yep.
He will take care of you.
Thank you.
Oh,
that
thank
didn't
you.
sound creepy or ominous at all.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the dark side is not powerful in subtlety.
No, not even
He's
once.
going to murder. I mean, take care of you. Sorry, my bad. Slip of the tongue.
I bet he does.
I'll
Okay.
Every
thanks.
little line has
I'll do
is
that.
ominous.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
You know we don't like each other. You have to believe that Palpatine, with all his dark side powers, the dark side is maybe not as good at sensing movement of the good side.
I think that's why they have to cloud. Because if there's a general, like, oh, if I just cloud everybody, then I won't have to worry about them because they can't connect with each other. So I think that's a power in opposition of sensing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the dark side, cloud's good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the good does if they're doing anything active, or if Palpatine can sense that there are some Jedi back on Coruscant.
This might be a really little thing, but I really appreciated seeing R2 kind of being ejected from there, because I know a lot of kids, when I would show these movies, are like, how does R2 get into the ship? And now, or how does he get out? So I thought that was really cool that they just kind of...
Slow cranes.
Yeah.
And I like the shot on R2 to really separate, like, okay, so R2 isn't directly seeing any of this, but he kind of knows that his master isn't right. You gotta guess. Yeah, mouse droids.
Mouse droids.
Still one of my favorite bits from Robot Chicken.
Yes, same
So
here.
Yeah.
Like the droids at the doors push the buttons.
I
and
know,
the doors
right? They're
open
like,
back up.
No. Okay,
What
so
are you doing, no?
Watch Yoda. He is going to throw his lightsaber into
Cool.
Yes,
thing.
the coolest
And
thing
then
I've ever
climb.
seen in my life.
Yeah, the sword in the clone. I've
Yeah.
heard people refer to this. I like that Obi-Wan has.
And then
his,
the greatest shot right
Yeah.
there. Boom.
Last time.
yeah,
For the last time.
and I like that Obi-Wan has his hood up.
Yes, I was going to say that as well. Oh, hey.
That's bull.
Yep.
What happened to his face?
I
Does
think he
anyone
directly
notice?
addresses it in a second, which is cool.
God. Hurts my soul.
Yeah, and I would have liked to see a little bit more of this fighting. I'm gonna say it 8 more times.
Not this fighting, though.
No.
No,
No.
those are the, yeah. Yeah, I think Ewan McGregor does great with all of this section here of just the pain.
Well.
See now, and this makes so much sense to me. If he has been
God.
fighting this war against these people
Yeah.
for years, they've been keeping him from Padme,
Yeah.
They lined him up,
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
knock him down.
Yeah.
and he's been, their enemy, but he's supposed to show restraint. And they're like, nope, I'm just gonna get you in one room and cut
Yeah.
you all apart.
Yeah.
And does
Stronger.
than yesterday.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
and I like in the new canon, it has been very, very clearly solidified that nobody has any idea that Palpatine is a Sith, and
Yep.
he is selling this idea. They're the yellow eyes.
Yep. And I was just like, oh, well.
Begins.
Selling the idea that he was injured. He's a good politician. He
Yeah,
has a
great.
distinctive hand gesture.
Yeah, I was like,
he's
there's-
got his sort of not great cupping gesture.
No.
Why is everybody cheering? Ooh.
Yep. Great line.
Are you being sarcastic?
No. I know a lot of people don't like that line, but I actually think it's really good.
I think it's a little. I think it's a little too on the nose, but
It is.
definitely
It's-
necessary.
Yeah,
you
it just,
know.
I mean, it was kind of like, okay, thank you, Captain Obvious, but at the same time, it still gives you that weird,
Yes.
like, wow, that is a thing.
Senator Obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And it's nice to see, even it's at the end of the Jedi structure, a little bit more of like kind of the technical background of the temple. I like that Yoda already knows.
Yeah.
That he just. Yeah, so see, it's in the Jedi Temple. We get a little
Oh,
bit
look
of-
at his face.
Yeah, he just doesn't even want to watch.
Ah, crap. And you probably
That's why you
shouldn't.
turned it off.
Yeah. I like that there's just no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no
Yes.
like, let's meditate on this. Like,
No,
no,
we
we're
need-
going to go
we
cut
gotta
their
go.
heads off
Yeah.
Nip it in
now.
the
We need to
bud
go
now.
Now.
Again, this goes by very fast, and it could have gone on a little bit longer, but it does suggest what Obi-Wan says to Luke of like, I used to believe there was good in him. I wish it had happened a little bit more slowly as well, but
Is there an extended cut?
no, there's deleted scenes on DVD.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
That scene was probably the best that the digital Yoda ever looked.
Yeah,
I will say.
Yeah.
he
I
did
agree.
the team did some great acting with him. I haven't really thought before about like just how much everybody is letting the truth flow. Like Yoda's like, yeah, the Chosen One has always been dubious, and I'm really sure. And Obi-Wan's like, yeah, of course there's something between Padme
Yeah.
and Anakin, and just nobody's hiding from any of the truths.
Yeah.
I wish there was a better way to say that, though.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
It is very blatant, but I
Yeah.
think Ewan McGregor does his best with it.
security hologram.
Yeah, I think people who lived with the classic trilogy for a long time just sort of imagined that this was a longer period of Anakin sort of falling to the dark side, all of his friends trying to get him back, and not all of it just sort of
Happening at once.
You know, you can imagine with travel, like maybe this is 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is 4 hours.
Yeah, because I mean, technically, she did say that he came to see her yesterday.
You're right,
Which
you're right.
technically, he killed the younglings yesterday.
Yeah. So
So
it's
I'm
still
like,
it's still
whoa.
compressed into a couple of days, but yeah, you
Whoa.
don't get that sense of like we really tried to pull him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the good side, which would
I
have been nice
agree.
to have a little bit more time with that.
Yeah. But for movie time, I understand why. Oh.
Yeah, and like Obi-Wan
No.
just calling it out.
No.
Again, it makes our heroes not super dumb.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe even a little bit of manipulation on Obi-Wan's part of like, he thinks she knows where Anakin is, and he wants her to lead him there.
He's the negotiator.
So yeah, maybe if he is, I'm sure he's legitimately sorry, but also playing her a little bit.
They're all
Dead.
Cool.
Nobody's watching the holograms.
Nope.
And I love this that that Anakin is in turmoil here.
And the eclipse. I just noticed that eclipse is kind of, it's the darkness covering the light.
Yeah.
But there is still light poking through.
Yes.
Oh, hey, nice. Yeah, good catch.
I thought that was me being extremely into it.
No, I'm all about that kind of stuff.
All right, so
No,
that's why I didn't mention it. I was like, it's probably just
We've
me
talked a
being
lot
weird.
about, Lucas has his problems with directing actors and dialogue, but visually,
No, he's
thematically, he's a great
on
director.
point. Yeah. Oh dear, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
Watching this movie, I was just like, oh dear.
Putting it
Still,
lightly.
still happy that there's tasteful use of C-3PO.
Yes.
No. Obi. Yeah, no, I like Obi-Wan being very sneaky. Getting into his sneaky ways that we see in A New Hope.
Yep.
Nobody in this film is going to bother to use their hands to close a door either.
No.
Nope. They're just like, I don't need to do that.
Some great stuff coming up here with Yoda.
And I like how they went from the full body sort of imaging
Yeah.
to
like
the half
half.
body like we see in Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's very nice. Nice connection. And neatly wrap up the Trade Federation and kind of
Yeah.
explain why there aren't droids banging around the universe.
Hey, tell them to stop. just super quick. Hey, could you tell them to stop, real quick?
Just real quick.
Hey, thanks.
Yep, and it's nice to see her doubt and fear.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this planet screams evil, but I still have hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, baby.
Oh, hey, I can
Yeah.
run to you now. I love you.
And I like the idea that he is being literally consumed with the dark side of like do enough evil and it starts to fill you. So he tries to be rational, but
Yeah.
he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't run.
No, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Aren't you 8-9 months, maybe a little bit over? What's happening?
Pregnant ladies can do lots of stuff.
Totally. I've also noticed, again, I know we're talking about hair, but she's had some version of Leia buns in every single part of her hair
Yeah, it's really-
since the start of this movie.
Yeah, and she's connected back to a little bit more of a Return of the Jedi Leia hair, where it's still fancy, but it's business fancy. Like
Yes.
she's got practical things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what should be a comfort, what would have been a comfort to Anakin
Yeah.
just a little while ago that Obi-Wan knows and is okay and is supportive,
Yeah.
is twisted immediately into jealousy. Yeah, and I think the scene does a good job of sort of pushing the idea of it is fine to hold loved ones dear, as we see Luke do it, but he moves into treating her as like a possession.
Yes.
That it's not about her well-being, it's about I would be too upset if anything happened to you.
3PO must be a really good hairdresser. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, so he's like going back and forth with every line of like, well, the Chancellor's, yeah, he is kind of evil, but I can kill him.
Yeah,
and then we'll
totally.
have an empire rule the galaxy. Like, it does just feel like he is an utter mess, which I like.
And I can't help but
You've
think of...
changed.
Stop.
You can't help
that
but
was a musical reference. But
Yes.
there's a... the MTV Movie Awards, the year this came out, Jimmy Fallon did a parody of this scene, and I can't help but think about it. It's pretty flippin' good.
There it is.
I am pretty easy at driving that from my mind. Not a problem for me.
But I know there's a good as like, there's like this much. It's like, yeah.
I love how the first thing Anakin thinks is it because of Obi-Wan? And it's like, no, it's because of you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But I think it makes this horrible thing he's about to do believable.
Yeah.
You know, you get in those moments where you feel like the world is against you, and then whatever evidence comes in, you will turn it into that to support yourself, your view when you're angry.
That goes back into the possession thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you brought him here to kill me?
Yeah.
Me?
And then he was just like, what the hell was I doing?
And
Yeah,
it is
no, for
also
real.
good for Obi-Wan to just personally see Anakin do something awful immediately.
Yeah.
Like, this is not...
Done that yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a snap.
Yeah, that Obi-Wan could have probably negotiated better than doing the,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw down...
But he's probably just in
He-
denial and fed up with what just happened.
I
probably.
think he's finally had to accept it.
Yeah.
That's what
absolutely.
that time alone did, was he's like, I have to do it. I have to do it.
Yeah.
He's not Anakin. He is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that he almost tried to kill the love of his life, I think that was like a selling point right
It's like,
there.
okay,
Yeah.
he's gone.
Yeah, no.
And also, yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that he checks in on her.
Yeah. Ugh. Lord of mercy.
Just like, dude, what the hell?
Then you are. There it is.
Yes.
Absolutes.
And people have pointed out that that sentence is an absolute,
Yes, yes.
which you can either take
see?
as...
See?
And it's
Still the light.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the
Nice,
clouds are
nice.
moving over it.
Yeah.
And I like that you can take that that line is like, maybe it's sloppy George Lucas writing,
Eh.
but maybe it is also Obi-Wan being dogmatic.
Yeah.
No,
Like the
that's what
Jedi.
I was thinking of.
Now, I had always been so excited for this lightsaber fight, and I do think it is cool and good.
I
I
feel a
feel
butt
like
coming on.
I have two butts.
Oh, all right.
My first butt is, I feel like they put more blur on the motion of the lightsabers
Yeah.
than normal, which actually does make it more
I
difficult
never noticed that.
to track the
Badass.
Yoda's casual red guard.
Badass.
It makes it harder to track the lightsaber movement.
I agree.
I'll share my second butt later.
Yeah. Dun, dun,
Yoda
dun.
is not playing.
Damn it.
I know.
Yeah. And it is just fun to see
I know.
these two fight.
Go at
The
it.
two masters.
Yeah, and also just be like, there's nothing hidden. It's just all
It's all out in the
there.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as many people have talked about, I think it would have been cool to find a way to give Anakin a red saber. I think it would have
Yes.
been easier
Yeah.
to distinguish the fight, and I think it would have been more fitting. And I think there's plenty of ways to still have Obi-Wan retrieve his lightsaber
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
to give to Luke.
I think if they stuck to the original way that lightsabers worked,
Mm-hmm.
where it wasn't a crystal, but it was the force power of the
Yes.
person using it.
Yes.
Where's that from?
It was from some of the early comics.
Okay,
before,
cool.
Like way before any sort of any of the expanded video games or
Mm-hmm.
anything
Yeah.
showed like crystals and lightsaber making. But the comic book adaptation of Return of the Jedi has Vader grabbing Luke's lightsaber from him.
Okay.
Like, you've constructed your own lightsaber, and it turns from red to green or
Oh,
green to red in his
cool.
hand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that, but
Yeah.
also,
Oh.
That is an inelegant shot. I will say, there had to have
I
been a
forgot
better way
about
to shoot that than
Of how he had to like stretch up
there
and
should
then
be like
flip.
a Steve Vai guitar, like wow. As he
It's
is
the,
in this.
Well, I didn't like his laugh too, where
it's
he's like
the-
open-handedly laughing. I'm like,
it's
that's
the
weird.
full ass
But he wasn't
shot
like bent. His like
rollover.
hands were extended out.
Yeah. But the line that passed, my little green friend, is also a favorite.
Yeah.
My little green friend.
But
I got another one.
to further, yeah, I know. To further along with yours, I always thought that it was because your lightsaber would turn to whatever force that you have decided to take.
Yeah.
I always thought that was interesting. But then I saw a green lightsaber and I was like, what's that for?
Then they made it kind of like class based for a little while.
Yeah.
But I don't
And
know
that
if
did not.
that's-
That didn't stay at all.
No.
I mean,
Oh gosh.
yeah. And I like that they had that little discussion about whose faith was misplaced and what, because that also calls back to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Emperor's got a whole lot about arrogance.
Yeah.
Your arrogance. is your
Emperor's got a
weakness.
whole lot of groove. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit edited out of the fight. I know there was some edited out of the fight, and I would have liked to see the scene where we got to the beginning of this fight, where he kind of had Obi-Wan. Anakin had lost his lightsaber somehow, and yeah. And this
So
is
how
also.
did he get his lightsaber back? I'm guessing he got one of his
may have
goons.
another one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or he now has full power, so he could have told any clone like, "Go scout."
Yeah, I thought it was like
all
somebody
the
probably told
prototype.
one of the clones to go get it.
Yeah.
Like, go find it.
And I do like that this fight is in the Senate. It mirrors the sort of movement from place to place that happens in a lot of the bigger lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
And the symbolism of him literally destroying the Senate is great.
Yes. That's what I was going to
Jeez.
say.
And here we get the call
My
back
mom
to them being in
really
unison.
hates this scene, and I don't know why.
Well, no, because it's like, here, put your hand up. It's like,
Yes. My mom just thinks it's the most, like, she thinks it's so silly. And I was like, well, but, yeah, okay.
I can see it both ways. I think it is a little silly. I also like, we've never seen that, where what happens when people try to do a force push at the
I
same time.
agree with you.
well, they should have been blown back, and
Mm-hmm.
arguably.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I think
just-
also, acting-wise, they both are doing a great job
Yes.
of
Selling
not
it.
just
Yes.
fighting. Like, yeah, Anakin is
No,
so
it-
determined and angry.
It's all good
Oh,
stuff.
my gosh.
The Senate
My
is
brother
under
loves-
his control.
Yeah, my-
every seat.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother loves this scene because he's just like, he controls everything. I'm like, yes, he does.
Yeah. And I think also this
He's
is a
having
better
so
Yoda
much
fight
fun.
scene than Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
He's enjoying being able to cut loose
Yeah.
so much.
Well, yeah, because he's been hiding it for
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
long.
And I feel like it's made explicit in other places.
So cool.
But I'd like that you get a little sense of Yoda being like he enjoys fighting, and that makes it more difficult for me.
Yep. It's so graceful. Why all the twirling? It's for
Twirling.
Flash.
Always twirling.
Yeah, and like just the it almost feels like the evil is repellent to Yoda,
Yeah,
not just the actual force of the lightning.
Gosh, just the facial expressions on this man.
Poor
Ugh.
Yoda. This hurts
Ow.
too.
Ow.
Like, for going up against an animated character,
Yeah.
he's just as, if not more, animated.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
And makes Yoda that much more real in the
Ow,
scene.
ow, ow,
Yeah.
ow, ow, every time. Just like, he's gonna break, guys.
And I hadn't really picked up that Yoda does also lose his lightsaber here. I don't think we see him pick it up, so perhaps he just doesn't have one when we meet him on Dagobah, and then he never made
Sweet
another one.
space theremin noises.
Yeah, I was like, that was
Absolutely.
weird.
Ben Burt, always there with the sound design.
Yeah.
You can watch. I never noticed the theremin wobble on this lava
If
vein.
Yep.
Anybody I would like to just shake hands with and thank.
This-
I was like, out.
He's just like,
Super out.
you're getting in my way of my work.
I gotta
Yeah.
do lava. It's like Mo from Wall-E.
Yeah, exactly. He's
The
like,
droid's
you're in
not
my
getting
way.
involved.
He's like, nope, I
They should
can't.
probably fight it out.
Yeah, he's like, I'll just come back later. I'm
This'll
gonna go on
suck.
break.
I'll let this sort itself out.
Yeah.
Sure, lava
What a great lava burst right there.
Yeah, and I like thinking like Anakin's just gonna kill Obi-Wan. It seems like, and I feel like Obi-Wan is still being defensive
Yeah.
in trying to bring himself to actually kill Anakin.
Okay.
It's like, bro, chill.
I'm like, we get it.
There is a lot of accepting that no body means death in genre, so it is fun to
Yep.
have one guy go, "Come on."
Yeah.
Then he is not dead. All right.
You guys ready for the most extreme game of The Floor is Made of Lava?
Oh, yes.
The planet is made of lava.
Safe?
And as much as the Senate is a clear indicator of what Palpatine's at, obviously everything is utterly out of control for Anakin on
Yes.
Lava Planet.
Which just shows their relationship just going out of control.
Right.
Also.
Yeah. Just
And
like,
reaching
we
its demise and
can't
destruction.
even find a neutral place to hit each other.
Nope. They're just like, oh gosh, what do we do now?
Anakin, how you doing? Everything's on fire! Everything!
Every single thing is on fire. Only Yoda can fit through that.
Yeah.
This is what it's like to chew 5 gum.
Oh my god. And you know what? It does look like one of those commercials. That's kind of creepy.
That sounded DeLorean-ish.
Didn't he?
That's weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't
was
put
kinda
past
weird, but I
Denver
mean-
putting a nod into that. I like this
Yes.
Yoda acting too.
Well, he has to think on it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and I like that he acknowledges that he failed and that he's not up to the challenge of beating Sidious.
no. Yeah.
I do wonder if Yoda and Obi-Wan had gone after Sidious together.
Yeah, that
been
was
the smarter play.
A couple
Yeah.
people in chat were saying that.
Yeah.
And then they could both handle Anakin on a mental level.
I agree.
Yeah, that might have been smarter.
Yoda
but
could help clear his mind a little bit more.
Yoda is set in his ways.
Yeah. I hear some of that adventure serial showing up again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thank the lucky stars that there's no yodel in that shot. Yeah, and
I
here's
thought that was
the,
way too close for comfort, but sure.
yeah.
Now this do you think this goes a little bit too far into like Star Wars 3 the video game type of thing?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, okay.
the whole video game argument, I'm never on board with because I feel like
Okay.
video games got a lot of their, ideas from Star Wars. But I do feel like I would have liked the second half of this battle. I
Oh,
think
no.
loses a little bit of emotion because it is about the spectacle
Yeah.
of the lava, certainly. So the video game part of it, but the
It's a different way, a better way of putting it.
It's based on the level from the Aladdin game for Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, because to do all of that huge cinematic shots of that huge lava fall, and then to bring it back to close-ups anyway,
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Doesn't matter where they are. And it,
And there's, I think, the real selling point of this, the certain point of view theme being the thing that kind of holds the first 6 movies together,
yeah.
is because we built that up a little bit to the point where, like, it's maybe a little believable that Anakin thinks the Jedi are evil,
Yeah.
and that everything he's doing is evil, but his perspective is maybe a little bit understandable.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a good villain. A good villain is
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
believe it no matter what, 100%. And that's why Palpatine is kind of the strongest line throughout
Right.
the 3 movies is because you can believe him 100%.
Yeah.
That he's like, oh no, yeah, I know I'm bad, but this is right to me.
Yeah.
This is right. They have the high ground.
And
Best line in the movie.
I
Yep.
really do like this because I feel like we needed an emotional beat to understand that Obi-Wan is being defensive and smart, and Anakin is being aggressive
Exactly.
Yeah.
and cocky.
Slice.
Ooh.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, that's rough stuff.
Yeah. I remember when my brother was watching this for the first time. He's like, "Wait, did he just chop off his legs?" I'm like, "Yes."
Did that adorable boy that we met 2 movies ago just turn evil and get his limbs chopped off?
Yeah.
By a river of fire?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And I do like that we got to see Obi-Wan be very emotional
Yeah.
and not just be cool about this.
It is kind of the first time though you see somebody really in pain after
Yeah.
a limb removal with a lightsaber. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then that's when the unnatural starts
Spit
to.
and
yeah,
vitriol.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see why Anakin would be angry, obviously,
But this
with
is
the pain.
and this is also I'm really proud of Hayden because he really showed that he has turned
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
As we've been saying
Yeah.
consistently,
Yeah.
leaving it all out.
Yeah.
See, now being close to lava burns you, but not when they're floating on a
over
river
it.
of
Yeah.
lava.
you
Well,
know.
I think there's got to be something in blood that is lava catchy. I guess,
I guess so.
that's it is a space movie, so you can make those things
My
up,
brother
but
ran so far when this scene came up. He's like,
It's-
no.
I'm so glad that
Star Wars.
Lucas
Yeah,
did not
you
back
know,
down
for kids.
from this. And a lot of people ask, like, okay, why didn't Obi-Wan Kenobi finish him off? And I like
Well,
that there's
I
some
mean-
ambiguity that he thinks he's finished off and can't bear it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
one thing to
that-
cut his limbs off because he won't stop trying to kill you.
Yeah.
The other, like, you're out of limbs, you're on fire. I'm not gonna cut your head
No.
off.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You're having a pretty bad day.
And the assumption that he is dead.
Vitriol is flammable.
But also it could leave him time to consider and to
Yeah.
think and maybe cloud his mind before uncloud his mind
Mine
before he dies.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't,
Yeah.
because if you die by your best friend and brother's hand, then the
Yeah.
dark side has one.
Yeah. And I hadn't really appreciated all of those shots of how tender he is.
Yeah.
Like he really needs to feel like something good and light
Yes.
and just be kind and at least take care of Anakin's children and Padme.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's only Tuesday.
I know. It's been, a 3-day weekend. My God.
Right.
Yeah, more machine than man now,
He's more
twisted and
machine
evil.
than-
Yep.
No. Twisted and evil.
Even that ship sounds evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the same like warbling.
Yes.
Warbling, yeah.
Sidious
Yeah.
sounding like the early
Yeah.
thing. Early Lambda class.
Yes.
Yeah, and a little bit similar to what we see in the trailer for Force Awakens. For Shadow-Wise.
Advancement of the Lambda class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just
now
a fan of Greek letters.
we start to get lots of mirroring here in the end, but coming up, Palpatine
He's
touches
still
Vader in a very
alive.
sensitive way, like he's very happy he's alive, the same way Obi-Wan touched Padme.
As I stand over.
Victor Morgor in the chat. "'Tis but a scratch."
I know.
A little bit of Monty Python in our Star
I
Wars.
love that.
Yeah. See, I really like this shot.
I was like, don't touch me. Prince.
Ah,
Ow,
Yeah,
that hurts.
it
Does
looks-
this hurt?
That one
How about
shot
now?
makes me think, though, that Palpatine does actually care about him. He's not just a tool,
And
not
that's-
just a manipulation.
this is an evil acknowledgement of what they went through during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do like that in order to hide out, they went to a place that we've never heard of. Like, I would have liked a little bit more information, but I like that it's not, that it keeps expanding the universe, and it's not like they went to Alderaan
Yeah.
to hide out. Or
It wasn't clean.
Yeah.
yeah, it was new, a new place. This Polis Massa is the name of the asteroid.
A dark day.
Yeah, and this looks like a little Sith hideout. Everything here looks sort of Sith design.
Yes, very much so.
And even closer to TIE fighters.
Yeah. And some nice rain and thunder,
Someone
lightning
put a-
on
Someone put a
Coruscant.
cover over him. He'll get
I
wet.
know. I'm like, come on, guys. What are you
It's
doing?
gonna shrivel up.
But yeah, and it's great to see that he starts seeing the full evil of the dark side. That like there's the ritual of like they can't be asleep; they have to feel pain.
So,
She's lost the will to live.
So everybody always says that Padme died of a broken heart.
Yeah,
There is
that was
no
my next
actual
question.
dialogue where
No.
he says
where
that
he
she
says
died
that of a broken heart, it's just
There's-
that it's just unexplained, and she has no will to live. So I was like, so broken heart is what I'm going with.
It's just so similar to South Park with, it's just his time. His time is out.
There's a fan theory that Palpatine is sucking her essence through the Force and giving it to Darth Vader.
Anakin.
I just always
mean-
thought it was something Force related.
Yeah.
And that I like that explanation.
Yeah, it is one of the things that doesn't match up with the classic trilogy that I wish that she would have lived and stayed with Leia a little bit so Leia could have known her. But I also like the simplicity of this mirroring scenes
Yeah.
where Vader and
Yeah.
Padme are both going through these
pain
and medical
Yeah.
trauma.
Digital
babies.
It's an actual baby. It's played by one of the editors.
Blanket. The blanket looked digital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said digital baby.
I did, but
okay.
But it looked
It was a
digital because of
weird
the blanket.
disconnect.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked really strange.
And Padme obviously thought of the names.
Yes.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
I like that one droid on the far left looks like an evil FX7.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite shots in all of the movies.
Yeah, me too.
Right here, where he's
Crap.
kind of taking it in.
Yeah.
But no protective covering, just a helmet.
Yeah, I know, which is kind of scary to me.
Like his suit kind of looks like insulation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great sound design with that high-pitched screw, and then the breathing. I like that that's her final words, because it does set up the trilogy, and it sets up that Luke and Leia are her children to be optimistic and hopeful. So everything about this is great up until the no. I think is why people are so angry at the no, because this is all
But I mean,
really amazing.
I get it, though.
The dislike of the no?
No, either, like, for both reasons.
Mm-hmm. As so well
weird.
delivered. Yeah. Yeah. To hear some of the first words that the vicious Lord Vader say is
Where my
sensitive.
girl at?
Yeah, okay, I can see the dialogue being...
I love everything up
Yeah.
until I love that he's reaching out and just anger and fury and smashing everything.
Yeah. It also really shows you how powerful he is.
Yeah.
Frankenstein moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time he's
Yeah.
able to walk after being practically burned alive.
It's one of those things where it makes practical sense, but I would have liked
Yeah.
it far more if he would have just, like, fallen to his knees and everything around them had
Agreed.
shattered.
Yeah, just shattered. Yeah, okay. We didn't need the no.
I
I get
love
it.
the where's Padme followed by anger.
Yeah,
And I think it could have been executed.
a little
It
better.
was a great build to just
Yeah.
it just
To
fell
a
right on his face.
Frankenstein reference, which is
Yeah.
understandable but inelegant at that moment.
But unnatural.
Unnatural.
Yes.
Yes. Unnatural filmmaking in that moment. My 2 cents. In this, I like, obviously, Obi-Wan watching over him. That makes sense that he wants to do right by a Skywalker, but the idea that Beru and Lars are Luke's family is a decent amount of work.
Yeah.
I do like they included this. I wish they had found a way to spend more time on it in the movies.
Yeah.
I like that it solidifies into canon that's not something that Jedi normally do, is live beyond. It ties back to Qui-Gon being into something called the Living Force.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about C-3PO getting his memory wiped?
Fine.
I think I'm fine with it. I can't.
Yeah.
I have no qualms
I feel
with
like it is utterly necessary.
Yeah.
I have one friend who it angers him to no end because he feels like
It would have been
it
helpful.
betrays that we've been
okay.
on this journey through 3PO, and he's the storyteller in that. But I like 3PO not knowing, and I like R2 knowing some of this and keeping it to himself.
I love how if you watch closely when you see Natalie Portman in her
Jar Jar and Boss Nass.
in her little funeral pod, you'll see her eyelashes quiver.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, wow, Natalie.
I like her necklace.
Looks great.
I like
She looks
the
beautiful.
necklace.
I didn't see an eyelash.
No,
quiver.
it was earlier.
It's earlier?
Yeah,
When
it
Okay.
passed
she was
it already.
first coming through.
Yeah, when she was first
Okay.
coming through, you see it like just barely move.
Well, maybe in a special edition
That's
we can
an-
get that quiver
Yeah.
out.
That's kind of a New Hope thing that
Mhm.
she
Yeah.
a reminder that she died with all of the happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, surrounded by people. Now, I expected the film to end on a shot of Palpatine and Vader. I'm happy it didn't because I think the other shot is better. But I kind of expected when I first saw it to
Yeah,
zoom
just
right here.
yeah, and
Uh-huh.
then go right into the credits.
A
Yeah.
little bit of
Also-
Tarkin.
Wow, either that's a prototype or 19 years to build the Death Star.
I mean,
I mean, if it's just a frame though,
Yeah, no, believable.
and especially to completion.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the direct connection to A New Hope is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Super glad that we saw Alderaan.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, it's Legends now, but what used to be canon was that in the time between this and A New Hope was Darth Vader helping his new apprentice
Yes.
start the rebellion
Oh,
on Alderaan.
interesting. I think that's an interesting twist. I like what they're doing in the new canon
Yes,
a lot, where
I
Vader
agree.
is just consumed with anger and doesn't want to think about his old life.
If anything, we're going to see that duplicitousness in Rebels
Yeah.
with Ahsoka's reappearance.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I think that's a better way of doing it.
Yeah,
Cute little baby.
yeah. And we get to
The
see Obi-Wan
same
Kenobi ride
dudes.
one more animal.
Yep.
Bless you, George Lucas. Bless you.
And I thought this was having this be the final scene and shot was a great way to actually end the
Yeah.
trilogy on a little bit of hope for such
Yeah.
a dark, tragic movie.
A New Hope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Like no.
I don't like nothing.
Like it's nice to have the shot of the suns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think we get the sense that maybe part of the deal was Lars does not want Obi-Wan around.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Yep.
What a great shot.
Yeah.
And a great theme.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's the same shot as Luke, but cloudy. Cloudy. You guys did a lot of great job of pointing out the light and the dark, and I like that it's the same scene, but
But yeah, it just
dark
looks like
and
a
cloudy
new.
version of it.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better about that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you break it down, a lot of the things that people didn't like about the prequels, at least sort of the surface level things, just aren't there. There's not anywhere near as much Goonie humor. There's
Yes.
not anywhere near as much stiff acting or stiff dialogue.
Yeah.
A lot of scenes were great acting. You can tell exactly what the intent of the scene is. And I watch this movie a lot. I like it. I hadn't noticed how long, how many shots linger, and I do think that makes
Yeah.
a huge difference
That helps.
in
Yeah.
connecting with the characters.
This is of course the last of the trilogies that we're doing for the last of the prequel trilogy that we're doing
Yes.
for the watch-alongs,
Mm-hmm.
and I like them a lot more now
Awesome.
as a cognizant adult,
Yeah.
as opposed to a dumb kid who thought they knew what Star Wars was,
Yeah.
and the Red Letter Media reviews are fun to watch, but
Yeah.
ultimately it's not about the technical things; it's about the feelings.
Yeah.
I would think.
And they are not. We talked about this with Phantom Menace. They're not structured like normal movies.
No.
No,
and
no.
and I think Red Letter Media does a great job of picking apart like absolutely weird structural issues in choices, but they are the weird, idiosyncratic auteur work of a weird, interesting filmmaker.
No, I
in
completely
George
agree.
Lucas.
Entirely
and I
true.
think all of the expanded fiction that we're getting really fills out this world, and the ideas that, even if you don't like the films, the ideas that were created in them go on to be so rich.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
important.
Totally agree.
Any final thoughts?
Mostly just the fact that I know a lot of people can really hate on these movies, but just if you really just sit there and just take in everything, just the appreciation and just watching it from what setup is and everything like that. Maybe the writing might be a little off, but just really just being an embellished Star Wars fan and just enjoying it for what it is will always be something that's really close to my heart. So I can watch these movies and everyone's like, it sucks, but I'm like, but deep down it's like, this is what we have set up for, and it's still a good watch to watch with a family or friends or what we're doing right now.
And I connected recently with a friend of mine who somebody else was bashing on the prequels, and he was like, those are the Star Wars movies I grew up with.
Right.
These are my Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
So that helped me widen my appreciation even more.
Exactly.
Just like, well, yeah, this is how people get introduced to the Star Wars universe. Ain't a bad way to get started.
No, not at all.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and we will be doing watch-alongs for the original trilogy, and it'll be really fun to watch them in order in such a sort of specific and analytical way, and see how they connect and see what is the good and the bad. And for me, try to watch the films with all the years of baggage I have with them, but also try to watch them with fresh eyes of like, objectively, to the best of my ability, what's good, what's bad.
As well as leading up to what we know now about The Force Awakens.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think it's also it also depends on who you see it with someone who's never seen it before, that's a new, fresh set of eyes, like you said, or just even someone who hasn't seen them in a really long time.
Yeah.
And you can still feel what they're feeling, and it's just, like, I didn't think I was going to cry in this movie, and I did. So, like, I just think it's Star Wars has always been one of those stories that doesn't matter who watches it, first-time watcher, someone who's been watching it all their life, whatever, it will always bring an experience to you, and it'll always be different every single time. And that's what I love about Star Wars. It just brings people together.
Yeah, there are layers and layers, and much to be enjoyed.
Good call.
And debated. Thank you so much, Alexis, for joining us.
I'm so happy that I was even able to just hang out and get all the feels out before work. So
yeah, good. You got to get a good Star Wars cry in before.
I have to do it. It's the only way I can get through my day.
Fair enough.
Excellent. Well, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yes.
And we'll wrap up?
You guys can follow me all over social media as atorres890. I'm on a bunch of shows here for our other channel, AfterBuzz TV. I also do a show for Geek Nerd Tech on Black Hollywood Live, which is another network of ours.
Excellent.
And you can find me on Twitter at SoapboxMark. Do a bunch of stuff here for Popcorn Talk, for AfterBuzz. Tomorrow we're starting a whole new block of stuff on Wednesday. But Jedi Alliance is where you can find me on a weekly basis with Mr. Scrimshaw here. Keep watching and stay tuned for when we're doing episode 4.
Excellent. I'm Joseph Scrimshaw. You can find me on social media as at Joseph Scrimshaw. My website is josephscrimshaw.com. I always have shows going on. Got one coming up at Kamikaze this weekend, so please check that out. And do check out Jedi Alliance, our most recent episode. We talk a lot about Rebels. We talk a little bit about horror in Star Wars, which is really fun. That's our most recent episode, so check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Many Bothans died to bring you this watch-along.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.